The views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. Prime Minister Davis tells grocers they need to follow the law as price control inspectors hit stores. The Central and South Eleuthera MP hitting out over the state of Eleuthera's water supply, with residents frustrated over poor water service and murders up 11% in the country. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. 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 Wake up, wake up.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Wednesday, December 7th, 2022. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Chester Robards will be joining us. Also this morning, we'll be talking about the latest in business news in the country in our Business News Roundup in Morning Blend Business. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, at the same time, price control inspectors were showing up at some grocery stores to confirm whether they were adhering to price control changes announced weeks ago. Prime Minister Philip Davis was urging grocers to follow the law regarding the new margins, which are intended to help ease inflationary pressures. Economic Affairs Minister Michael Halkitis, meanwhile, said he instructed the inspectors to visit the stores after the Nassau Guardian yesterday reported that members of the Retail Grocers Association failed to adjust their prices to reflect the new margins. The association has been repeatedly objecting to the changes. When asked by The Guardian about their failure to comply, the Prime Minister said, quote, "I'm not aware, but our Consumer Affairs Department will probably be looking into it." He said, quote, "We are a country of laws, and the rule of law is still alive today, as it was yesterday, and I would expect those who understand the law to follow the law, including the grocers." Well, the grocers have said adhering to the new margins would be detrimental to their businesses. They've been waiting for weeks for the government to respond to a counter-proposal, which it invited the grocers to present, outlining what they could live with. But as far as the government is concerned, the matter is a done deal, and the merchants must comply with what was gazetted. Central and South Eleuthera MP Clay Sweeting saying that his constituents have been without running water for more than 7 days, and he expressed his disappointment to both the Minister of Works and the chairman of the Water and Sewage Corporation. WSC acknowledged in a Facebook post on Sunday that it experienced severe challenges in the production of storage and distribution of safe, potable water. This was mainly in the central Luther area. Sweeting, who is the Minister for Agriculture, Marine Resources, and Family Island Affairs, issuing a statement on the ministry's letterhead as Cabinet met yesterday. He said that his constituents had been without water for 7 days now. He said, quote, "In fact, the water supply has not been consistent for several months. This is totally unacceptable and extremely frustrating. I will attend a meeting with the Ministry of Works, Water and Sewerage, and Aqua Design, the company contracted by the government to supply water to Central Luther and other islands." This was what he said yesterday. He said the management team at Aqua Design must act with great urgency in addressing this long-standing issue, which the residents of Eleuthera have faced so far, or far too long. He said there is no justification that any company can give unacceptable service to residents for so long. The Bahamas is among the countries most exposed to severe food insecurity. That notes a just-released report prepared by the United Nations Economic Commission for Latin America and the Caribbean and the Food and Agriculture Organization and the World Food Program. The report, entitled Towards Sustainable Food and Nutrition Security in Latin America and the Caribbean in Response to the Global Food Crisis, explain what food insecurity is. You can read all about that in today's Nassau Guardian. A magistrate dismissing a bribery charge against a policeman accused of abusing his position for financial gain. 46-year-old Constable Errol Ferguson was accused of soliciting $150 from Orthnell Miller to make $750 in traffic tickets go away. The incident allegedly took place between April 20th and 22nd of this year. He pleaded not guilty to the charge. Chief Magistrate Joyanne Ferguson Pratt discharged Ferguson without hearing any evidence in the case after Miller decided that he no longer wanted to pursue the complaint. The matter has been set for a final adjournment, meaning it was the prosecution's last chance to put on its case. However, before Miller informed the court of his stance, Ferguson Pratt said the matter had to be adjourned. And there's been an 11% increase in murders so far this year over the same period last year. According to police recorded 121 murders in 2022 and reported that 68% of those have been solved. Last year, 119 murders were recorded. 73 were recorded in 2020, 95 in 2019, and 91 in 2018. 122 in 2017. The record was set in 2015 with 146 murders. Many of this year's murder victims were men out on bail. National Security Minister Wayne Monroe acknowledged this profile of victims and assistance. He said assistance will be offered to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions to address that trend. Overseas, China rolling back rules on isolating people with COVID and dropping virus test requirements for public places, some public places today, in a dramatic change to a strategy that confined millions of people to their homes and sparked protests and demands for President Xi Jinping to resign. China has enforced some of the world's strictest curbs, disrupting global manufacturing and trade and the lives of ordinary Chinese, while many nations switched to trying to live with the virus. The latest announcement from the National Health Commission is the second easing of rules following a November 11th change that fueled hopes that the Communist Party would scrap its zero-COVID strategy. Experts warn, though, that because millions of elderly people still need to be vaccinated, it'll be mid-2023 or later before restrictions can be lifted completely. China's low infection rates also mean few people have developed natural immunity, a factor that might set back reopening plans if cases surge and authorities feel compelled to reimpose restrictions. The easing is in line with promises to reduce the human cost of zero COVID, including changes announced before the protests that included shorter quarantines for travelers from abroad. The latest moves have been highly publicized, a possible effort to quell public anger, but it was unclear whether they are a response to the protests. Thousands of police officers carrying out raids across much of Germany today against suspected far-right extremists who allegedly sought to overthrow the government in an armed coup. Officials say 25 people were detained. Federal prosecutors say some 3,000 officers conducted searches at 130 sites in 11 of Germany's 16 states against adherents to the so-called Right Citizens Movement. Some movement members reject Germany's post-war constitution and have called for bringing down the government. The justice minister describing the raids as an anti-terrorism operation, adding that the suspects may have planned an armed attack on institutions of the state. Germany's top security officials said the group was driven by violent coup fantasies and conspiracy ideologies. And from the U.S., Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock defeating Republican challenger Herschel Walker in a Georgia runoff election Tuesday night, ensuring Democrats an outright majority in the Senate for the rest of President Joe Biden's current term, and capping an unwelcome midterm cycle for the GOP, the Republicans, in the last major vote of the year. With Warnock's second runoff victory in as many years, Democrats will have a 51-49 Senate majority, gaining a seat from the current 50-50 split with John Fetterman's victory in Pennsylvania. There will be divided government, though, with Republicans having narrowly flipped House control. In sports, the Bahamas struggled offensively, but their defense helped them take care of Jamaica to win the Bahamas Cricket Association's 2020 Nations League Championship match. That was Sunday at Haynes Oval. The Bahamas won by 19 runs after they finished with 139 runs all out. Jamaica only managed to score 120 runs all out. It marked the end of the 2022 BCA cricket season. The T20 League wrapped up last month. Read all about it in today's Guardian Sports section. And Bahamian equestrian rider Anna Camille Millie Vlasov and her Belgian warm blood gelding had a great ending to their season as they put on a show, winning the 1.4-meter Grand Prix competition of the Mediterranean Equestrian Tour in Olivia, Spain. Vlasov was happy to get the victory in her final event for the year. The first Northern Bahamas High School Volleyball Championship, staged by the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, wrapping up with at the St. George's High School Gym in Freeport, the three-day event organized by the Grand Bahama Secondary Schools Athletic Association. In the Senior Boys Championship match, the Agape Christian Eagles out of Abaco defeated the Sunland Baptist Academy Stingers in 3 sets, winning 15-21, 22-20, and 15-9. The MVP of the boys tournament, Jason Williams, coach of the tournament, Stephen Johnson, both from Agape. In the girls' championship game, the Tabernacle Baptist Academy Falcons took down the 8 Mile Rock Blue Jays in 3 sets, the Falcons winning 21-14, 18-21, and 15-13. The MVP of the girls' tournament, Kana Hanchel, and the coach of the tournament, Salaika Williams from Tabernacle. From the World Cup, Morocco beating Spain on penalties to advance to the next round. And from NFL football, the Los Angeles Rams claiming quarterback Baker Mayfield off waivers, adding the former number 1 pick to their options behind injured Matthew Stafford for the rest of the season. Mayfield, the 2017 Heisman Trophy winner and former Cleveland Brown starter, was released by the Panthers on Monday, and his request after 7 disappointing games with Carolina. The struggling Rams host the Las Vegas Raiders Thursday night, and it's unclear whether Mayfield could be ready to participate for a team already down to backup quarterbacks. But we will see. That's sports. And that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your first look at weather for this morning, we've got a building high-pressure system combined with a complex low-pressure system just east of the area that will generate moderate to fresh winds across the islands today. Boaters and beachgoers should exercise caution due to the risk of rip currents and ocean swells. For today, your forecast for the northwest Bahamas, partly sunny, warm, and a bit breezy, with a chance of a few stray showers, turning mostly fair and a bit breezy tonight. Small craft advisory in effect due to swells. Boaters can expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near heavy showers. Winds northeast to east at 15 to 20 knots, seas 4 to 7 feet, but up to 8 feet in northeasterly swells. For the central and southeast Bahamas, partly cloudy and breezy with the chance of a few quick passing showers today, mostly fair and breezy with possible stray showers tonight. An advisory remains in effect due to swells for boaters. You can expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near showers as well. Winds northeasterly at 15 to 20 knots, seas 4 to 7 feet, but up to 8 feet in northeasterly swells. It's currently about 74 degrees under fair skies in Nassau. Look for highs getting up to around 82 Fahrenheit, 28 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down about 70 Fahrenheit, 21 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook coming up after traffic in just a bit.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day.
It's time for break, but when we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
Wake up, it's a new day.
The holidays are a time for reflection on the year past, reconnecting with family and friends, and indulging in brand new experiences. No matter what your holiday may bring, at Rev, we want to remind you to do it together. Play together, watch together, be together. Take time this Christmas to connect with the people and things that really matter. And let Rev take care of home for the holidays. Merry Christmas, Bahamas!
Know how important collecting your money can be to the success of your business. Start your relationship with Fidelity today so that we can show you the many options available to you with our merchant services. From click and pay options online to merchant terminals and e-commerce options. We're here to help your business succeed. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit any of our branches.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. 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 Wake up, wake up.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Remember, standard text rates apply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Chester Robards will be joining us. We'll give you the phone numbers for you to call in just a bit. And all morning long, we're going to be talking about what's in the news. A lot to talk about this morning, a lot going on on this Wednesday in December. And we're going to get into that right now with what's in the news. And in the news, more on what we talked about yesterday, the grocers. And after reading what was said in the Nassau Guardian yesterday, the Ministry of Economic Affairs sent out their price control inspectors to the stores to see whether it was true that the grocers were not adhering to the new price margins. And of course, they weren't. But we're going to get into that. That's a lot to talk about. We're going to get into that in just a bit. The other big story is what's happening in Eleuthera. Terrible situation there, and it's been going on for a very long time. Eleuthera residents frustrated over poor water service, and the Member of Parliament for the area, Clay Sweeting, the Central and South Eleuthera MP, he is complaining as well. He's also a cabinet minister. And we've been hearing about this for a long time, and yet these problems continue. So, our Travis Cartwright Carroll writing about this. Central and South Eleuthera MP Clay Sweeting saying yesterday that his constituents have been without running water for more than 7 days, and has expressed disappointment to both the Minister of Works and the chairman of the Water and Sewerage Corporation. Now, the corporation, WSC, acknowledged in a Facebook post on Sunday that it experienced severe challenges in the production, storage, and distribution of safe, potable water in central Eleuthera. Sweeting, who is also the Minister for Agriculture, Marine Resources, and Family Island Affairs, issued a statement on his ministry's letterhead as Cabinet met yesterday. He said in that statement, quote, "My constituents in Central and South Eleuthera have been without water now for some 7 days. In fact, the water supply has not been consistent for several months. This is totally unacceptable and extremely frustrating. This afternoon, I will attend a meeting with the Ministry of Works, Water and Sewerage, and Aqua Design, the company contracted by the government to supply water to the Central Eleuthera and other islands. The management team at Aqua Design must act with great urgency in addressing this long-standing issue, which the residents of Eleuthera have faced for far too long. There's no justification that any company can give that is acceptable for residents not to have access to water for approximately 7 days. I've been candid in expressing my disappointment to both the Minister of Works and the Chairman of Water and Sewerage Corporation. The residents of Eleuthera deserve better. No access to water is far more than an inconvenience. It is an extreme hazard to both health and safety. I will continue to update the residents of Eleuthera on the progress in resolving this issue. If the people of Eleuthera cannot be satisfied that any company's efforts do not meet even their most basic requirements, then an alternative must be employed. Wow. Now, the article also says that F&M leader Michael Pintard said he was, quote, alarmed by Sweeting's statement, adding that it, quote, exposes the fault lines in this new administration. Okay, well, alarmed at the statements, but what about the issue? Anyway, okay. Pintard said, quote, his statements are especially alarming since he is a cabinet minister who put out a press release on an official letterhead throwing both the Minister of Works and the chairman of the Water and Sewage Corporation under the bus. He added that it appears that, quote, as cabinet colleagues Clay Sweeting and Alfred Sayers, the Minister of Works, are not having serious collaborative conversations about the state of affairs in Eleuthera as it relates to water supply. Okay. Last week, Sayers said WSC was working aggressively to address water supply issues on the island. He apologized to residents and said he was deeply concerned by the matter. Sayers said the corporation ordered 2 storage tanks that have a capacity of 1 million imperial gallons each. He said they are being manufactured and will be available by mid-2023. Sayers said WSC is securing temporary tanks in the meantime and added that water wells on the island are also being rehabilitated. In its Sunday Facebook post, the corporation noted that its chairman, Sylvanus Petty, who also serves as the North Eleuthera MP, helped distribute bottled water to residents. Folks commenting under the post questioned if the publicity of a politician handing out water was needed. One wrote, quote, I'm conflicted about the publicity of this distribution effort, making a hero out of the politician. I find it very hard to swallow that in the 21st century, in a country that, although developing, has enough tertiary trained professionals who I have no doubt can come to a sustainable solution, this is absolutely unacceptable that we are dealing with the problem over and over again. Get to the root cause and fix it post-haste. Eleuthera resident George Major also told the National Guardian that the situation is humiliating. He said, quote, it's unfair to the paying consumer. It's disruptive to your health. Sometimes there's no water to bathe in the morning when you get up, no water to flush the toilets. It's humiliating. Really, it's a problem. And there's more in the papers today. Residents who are just completely frustrated by this and giving their stories about it. And it's very, very sad what's been going on there. And if it isn't one thing, it's the next. You know, they also have major electricity issues. That was a big problem last year. And now water. Wow. Let's get your reaction to this. Interesting responses from the politicians here. Not Clay Sweeting. I appreciate that. I appreciate what he's doing there. That's good to call out everybody. It doesn't matter if they are in your party or not. They're failing. Call them out. There's no time to save the party's face. Call them out. But the other politicians who are trying to get, it seems, brownie points out of this. What do you make of it? 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Let's hear what you have to say. All right, so I'm going to read some of the comments from some of the residents, what they're saying. So, again, one saying that it was humiliating, the issues they're having. One saying, quote, about 5 or 6 years ago, the water pressure was good and we were getting water consistently. But over the last 2 or 3 years, it's been inconsistent. It's unfair to the paying consumer. It's disruptive to your health. Others are saying, one resident of Palmetto Point in central Eleuthera, who didn't want to be named, said, quote, we lost water in the early morning on November 25th. After several days, we got a bit of water back, but maybe only for an hour or two. This went on for days, then nothing again for a couple of days. Finally, we got decent water pressure returned, but it smells horrible and is salty. We haven't had a shower for days, haven't been able to do the laundry. It's hard to do outside chores or activities when you don't know if you can shower afterwards. Some days we had water when we first woke up, but it was salty and tasted awful. Then it stopped suddenly with no notice from WSC. She went on to say, quote, many have cisterns that are topped up by city water, but now their cisterns are contaminated with salt water. Wow. In North Eleuthera, one Gregorytown resident who also didn't want to be named said something has to be done ASAP. She said, quote, it's sickening. Now that we finally are getting water, it's dead salty. Our kids had to miss school because of this. That's not a good thing. I work in the tourism industry, and guests are always complaining. Other Gregorytown, so this is the whole island then, because that's north. So it's, yeah, the entire island. Oh, boy. Another one, another Gregorytown resident complained of the water being too salty to bathe with, drink, or use for any daily activity or chore, with one resident noting that the water just cleared up on Monday. Okay, my goodness, what a terrible situation. So what is the Ministry of Works doing right at the moment? Because it seems like everywhere, every single thing you can think about, there's a challenge. 323-6232, and they don't want to talk. They don't want to really talk. They claim they're going to have a press conference soon. 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. All right. This text here. Is this the same situation Lutheran residents dealt with under the previous administration when a payment was needed to reinstate water service? If that is the case, we need to look into establishing our own water plant. Or something. Something has to be done. So obviously there's a problem with the company. They're having some issues. So by now, an alternative plan, as one of those residents said, should have been sought if this is the same thing. Isn't this the same company that was threatening to turn water off because the government owed them money? We need to look at new options. Yes, absolutely. This one says here, Minister Clay Sweeting needs to resign cabinet since he can't distance himself from this issue. He needs to resign if that's how he feels. Really? You can disagree in cabinet but not make a public statement against your cabinet colleagues. Well, did he really? He just said something needs to be done. You want him to sit down and be quiet and not say that there's a crisis? Okay. This one says there's no brownie points trying to be gained by the opposition. The PLP, while in opposition, had a press release. Well, again, instead of talking about the issue, they talked about how the cabinet ministers aren't getting along or talking. I mean, that's an unusual statement, very unusual. How about, this is a crisis, what are they doing? This is, lousy governance, they're pathetic, that kind of thing. But, those two must not be talking to each other. What's that? Anyway, good morning, caller, you're on the air.
Morning, Dwight. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Good morning.
Very vexing problem. But how about this idea, Dwight? Eleuthera by boat, fast ferry, just but roughly 2 hours away from Nassau, right? That's I think that's North Eleuthera. In this modern day and time, right, you don't think we can connect Eleuthera with Nassau by via underwater pipeline, and then we could go on a 2-year thing to waterify the entire Eleuthera from water from Nassau?
You mean as a temporary fix? That's what you mean? You mean the pipeline as a temporary fix?
No, pipeline as like how Ukraine got oil going under the water.
What water in New Providence? We do desalination here. They can do that there too. So there's no water here.
Well, right. If that's the case, then they need to get rid of that company because if I remember correctly, they've been having plenty problems with them people for a long time.
Yeah.
And that's you ain't never been on them Palmy Islands and stay in the hotel room and that water come with the shower there, it's salty or you ain't got none at all.
I am aware.
That's a terrible feeling.
Yes.
Okay, thanks for taking my call.
Yeah. And we're not, you all have forgotten, we used to barge our water in. We don't have any water here. But Luther, something has to be done with the company that's desalinating their water over there. Chester Robards is joining us now.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Great to have you with us.
Good to be here.
Yeah. By the way, it's December 7th, so you know what that means. No, you don't. Anyway, it's happy birthday to Laverne Gardner. Laverne Gardner,
happy birthday,
today's her
Laverne
day.
Gardner.
Happy birthday, Laverne. Hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day. Yeah. And I see you don't have to work today, or for us at least, but tomorrow. But we hope you are having a great one.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Let's continue with this discussion about Eleuthera. 323-6232. 325-4316, 325-4259. Do you think this text makes sense? He needs to resign since he's calling out his colleagues. Clay Sweeting. Because he's upset that his residents... What do you expect to do? He's the MP for the area. Are you serious? He should... What? Be quiet about it and, just secretly talk to them. Hey, what about Luther? You know, we haven't had water for a week. I don't know. What are you going to do? Like, under the table talk because I don't want to embarrass them? That's how it is? Yeah, this isn't the type of thing that requires you to resign from the cabinet.
Yeah, no.
No, that's when you... Anyway, you all are very confused. Okay. 422-4796 for your text messages.
I mean, what did he didn't really say anything.
No, we just said, hey, it's unacceptable to people.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure the residents in Luther are like wondering why he hasn't said anything before now.
How could you say anything else?
Because you're just so tied up to politics. It's insane. It's insane. But hey, what are we going to do? And again, it's been going on for so long. And our heart goes out to the people of Luther. This is very, very sad. And we know they've just, just terrible. But anyway, okay. So that's happening. You can continue to call in or text us about that. So the other big story is, of course, the grocers, and the Prime Minister now urging the grocers to follow the law. This after the Minister of Economic Affairs noted the National Guardian article yesterday about grocers saying they're not following the law. They aren't adjusting the margins because they believe they're still in discussions with the government, as they haven't heard anything on their counter proposal. But the minister saying, nope, that's the law. Do what you need to do, which is follow the law. And the Prime Minister urging them to do the same. Our Jasper Ward writing about this. At the same time that price control inspectors were showing up at grocery stores to confirm whether they are adhering to price control changes announced weeks ago, Prime Minister Philip Davis was urging grocers to follow the law regarding the new margins, which are intended to help ease inflationary pressures. Minister of Economic Affairs Michael Alkitis, meanwhile, said he instructed the inspectors to visit the stores after the National Guardian reported yesterday that members of the Retail Grocers Association, who have repeatedly objected to the changes, failed to adjust their prices to reflect the new margins. When asked about this yesterday, the Prime Minister said he wasn't aware of it, but that Consumer Affairs Department would be looking into it. He added, though, quote, "We are a country of laws, and the rule of law is still alive today, as it was yesterday, and I would expect those who understand the law to follow the law, including the grocers." Okay. Right. The grocers have said adhering to the new margins would be detrimental to their businesses, but have been waiting for weeks for the government to respond to a counter-proposal, which it invited the grocers to present, outlining what they could live with. But as far as the government is concerned, the matter is a done deal, and the merchants must comply with what was gazetted. Alkitis telling reporters yesterday, quote, "We are looking to enforce the law where the law is not being respected. Since we brought in the amendments, we have hired additional inspectors here in New Providence, and we're in the process of engaging additional inspectors as well on the Family Islands and giving them resources to do the job that they require."
Interesting.
In October, the government gazetted a 15% maximum markup for wholesalers and a 25% maximum markup for retailers on certain categories. In November, Halkida said the government agreed to tweak those changes and agreed to an additional 5% maximum markup on perishable items for retailers in New Providence and Grand Bahama. The government also agreed to an additional 5% markup on non-perishable items and an additional 10% on perishables for the Family Islands. The government had originally proposed the same markup for New Providence, Grand Bahama, and the Family Islands, but conceded that Family Island businesses face higher operating costs. Okay, let's get your reaction to this, folks. What is this going to mean? The inspectors are going around. The stores said they're not going to budge. What are we going to see over the next few weeks? 323-6232. 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Now, an interesting article in the Tribune this morning under the headline Christmas Showdown. And this is, everybody is saying different things all the time. It's very interesting. So they're saying that SuperValue's principal yesterday, Rupert Roberts, disclosed that price control backed off seizing vast quantities of product when warned of pre-Christmas store shutdowns, telling the government, quote, "We don't want war, and you don't want war." Oh, gosh. Okay. Rupert Roberts told the Tribune the government's inspectors had initially sought to confiscate all merchandise in 19 mostly pharmaceutical product lines from his Golden Gate store to check for potential violations of price-controlled margins and markups implemented more than a month ago. However, after taking legal advice from John Bostrick, attorney for the Retail Grocers Association, the SuperValue chief said price control officials relented and took just 2 samples of each item after he warned that the group's 130 food merchants would close our stores, as a quote, would close our stores and stay closed until Christmas over the unwarranted mass product seizure.
Huh?
Oh, boy. Well, that would have been something. That would have been something. Now
Speaking of resources, do they have the resources to do that?
Who? Which ones?
Price control?
Oh, you mean? Well, I mean,
Seize
well, they only took 19, but then because of that, the grocers say, "Well, we're going to close all of our stores." Then.
Why did they take them, though?
Well, they were going to.
But what were they going to do with them?
I don't know. Show them to the minister. Look, these are priced wrong. I don't know. I have no idea. Since they're priced too high, you can't sell them. I have no idea, Chester. No idea. What were they going to do? I mean, you would think, take a photo. I don't know. Write it down. I have no clue.
How do they know the margins are wrong just by looking at the price?
Guess they did their calculations.
Oh, they did?
Maybe.
Okay. Can you imagine they have like a list of
Yeah, man.
things?
Yeah. And calculators. You never seen that?
But every store might be different, though.
They know what the margin should be. This is
For every store.
25 cents more than what it's supposed to be. Maybe. So we don't want war. You don't want war. Boy.
But why would they seize anything more than a sample of what they need?
Two each instead of the 19. I have no idea. No clue.
Yeah, I don't get it.
No clue. Now, there's more on this. Asserting that inspectors had, for the past 50 years, always taken just one sample. Here we go. We might get some answers now. Okay. One sample of a product under investigation for price control breaches in the past. Mr. Roberts told the Tribune that any noncompliance with the revised pharmaceutical markups agreed that the sector, more than 1 month ago, could not be blamed on food retailers. He added that SuperValue had been begging the government for weeks to provide it with the revised pharmaceutical margins and markups, but this was only received by the 13-store supermarket chain last Thursday. As a result, it had just 3 to 4 days to make the necessary price adjustments in its systems and on shelves before the inspectors came calling. Asserting that this was insufficient time to make any changes, Roberts conceded that medicines such as Panadol may have exceeded price control limits by 31 cents, but argued that this was not SuperValue's fault, as it was kept in the dark on the revised pharmaceutical margins through no fault of its own. Okay. Boy, this is going to be long. This is going to be long. This is going to be long.
It might be 6 months.
Let's hear what you have to say about all of this, folks. It just feels like we're not making any progress at all on this. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Blend. Thanks for taking my call.
Hi, good morning.
2 points. I'd like to make a point about the water and also the food. As a little boy growing up in Deep Creek, Eleuthera, we used to have a well and a hand pump, and we never depended on anybody to pump water to us from anywhere else. Mm-hmm. And it worked out pretty fine. My uncle lived to be in his 80s, so obviously that was pretty cool. Probably need to look at doing it ourselves. The other thing about this food thing.
Well, you heard what they're saying, though, that some people do have their own, but because for some reason they were bolstered by the city water, it's now contaminated and salty. So they were trying to do that, it seems, but that now the corporation has caused further problems for them.
Yeah, well, you know that corporation has had problems with chairmen from that time, right? So
It's bigger than
everything
the
they do-
chairman, but sure. Mm-hmm.
No, I don't want to do that. I just want to try, but I want to talk more about this food issue here. Dwight, it's a known fact that cancer cells will actually stay alive in your body for 8 hours. When, the other cells, are growing cells, they kind of like happen every minute or two. But cancer cells hang around for 8 hours. But we've been given a program, and mind you, we feed cancer cells when we eat our food, especially the junk that we buy from the stores. But we've been given a program to eat every 8 hours, to continuously feed the cancer cells. If we were eating properly and probably once a day, every 24 hours, after the 9th hour, the cancer cell would die. But we're not taught that. We're taught to eat every 8 hours to continuously feed the cancer cells and make the doctors rich.
Not every 8, but okay, but yes,
Well,
a few meals
we
during
were
the
taught
day.
to have a meal every
Yeah.
8 hours, right? Well, every time you eat, you feed cancer cells if you have cancer cells in your body. But if you starve it, you kill it.
I see.
Eat every 24 hours or every 23 hours, and I think we may be more healthier, and then don't buy the garbage of the stores. The sugar is no good. But anyway, I don't want to go down that road. But think about the fact, 8 hours we eat, feed the cancer cells, and here we are now, fat like nothing.
Wow.
And dying, young. Thanks for taking my call.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Boy. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. All right, let's go back to the text line. This person said, oh, yeah, another one for Laverne. Please send birthday greetings to my friend, your very own Laverne Gardner. Yes, Laverne, happy birthday. Happy birthday again. This is, what is this? It's not for us. Is this? I don't know what
We
this
should
is.
play the Stevie Wonder happy birthday song for me.
Yeah.
That'll close out the show.
Okay. You want to end the show now, or you mean at the end of the show?
I'm just saying that's how long the song is.
Well, that is true, too. That's how the Westminster Convention works, Dwight. You can't publicly criticize your cabinet colleagues. I don't think he just said that he urged the minister to do something about the crisis they're having. He didn't say the minister is incompetent and pathetic. He didn't do that.
What are you
Right?
people
It's
going
not
on
the same
about?
thing. I don't think it's
What
it's
should
not
he
the
say?
same thing.
That's not true. It's
He
nothing
didn't-
happening here.
Right.
Water?
And then for the people to
needs
say
that?
we need to vote him out because he didn't talk about our problems, he just said he's urging the minister to do something. Others are trying to spin it into something else. And you're
That's
going right
so
down that line road with them. You're doing that right with them. But okay. This one says, tell me why I voted for this New Day government if the country is having the same problem and crime is totally out of control.
They didn't say when the new day was coming.
No, they did. But okay, the crime, same problems. Yes, that's a big thing. Crime out of control. Well, you got to look at some of the people too. What's up with that? And they were doing that regardless of whoever, right? So those are different things. But anyway, let's continue with your text. For the first time, I am afraid to come out of my house. Well, you need to stop.
Huh?
Where do you live? What's going on with you, texter? Anyway, but they said they were held up and robbed. I'm sorry, but something needs to be done in this country. Help us, Jesus. Well,
That'll teach you to read the whole time.
but still, I mean, like right outside your house? Well,
Maybe it
I
happened
don't know
at
what
the
to
house.
tell you. Wow. My condolences. This person says, where do you train to be a... That's a good question. I was wondering that myself. Chester, do you
Train?
know? Mm-hmm. They
Train.
got them very quickly because they needed them, and within the last month,
Maybe
they got them in
there's
place.
an app for that.
What?
You don't
I
need-
mean, so anybody could do it.
Yeah, basically. They just give you an
You
app
just have to have the list.
or a price sheet.
And then, right, price sheet, and it tells you this is the margin.
And then you have to know how many products to take.
It can't, it can't be over this amount for these napkins or something.
Right.
And it can't be over this amount for this bleach. Maybe.
Panadol.
I don't know. I'd Panadol, sure. Dwight, at this point, they just need to cite super value. If Rupert Roberts thinks he can threaten the government and public, Mr. Alkitis simply needs to find super value and Rupert Roberts and have him close their stores. You all aren't serious. Likewise, the government needs to draft a bill to publish and to punish anyone who thinks they can use food security as a bargaining tool.
What?
Well, you're the one who wants them to shut down the stores, so I think but okay. Everybody needs to think rationally here.
Yeah,
you know?
pretty much.
Because
This
you
whole
want you to know.
situation has been handled sloppily, I think.
Because he could do it. He could just say, fine, let me show y'all something, and close his stores, and we will be finished. They aren't the only game in town, but they're the biggest game in town, and it would be a problem. So don't talk foolishness. We've put ourselves in this unfortunate scenario.
Yeah.
And now everybody needs to be rational.
'Cause if they close, then I have to go eat fast food.
Well, first of all, where are they getting their food from?
Fast food people?
Huh.
They got their own people.
Oh, you think? Okay. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hello, Dwight.
Hi.
How you doing?
Doing well.
Chester.
Good morning.
Okay. Let LaWine know happy birthday.
I think she's listening.
Okay, that's great. Dwight, I have a problem with Davis administration to put laws on people. They're the same people who was breaking the law with the Procurement Act. Also, they don't disclose. Where is he when they're doing these things? If you're going to put laws on people, start doing it. If I do something home, I would expect my parent to do the right thing home too. Anyway, y'all have a blessed
I hear you.
morning.
Yep. No, everybody needs to follow the law. It can't just be for some people. I agree. And it's that time of year again, right? Around the time they need to get to disclose.
Disclose.
I hope the deadlines are, if they haven't passed, they're very close. And I hope no one's going to claim, I didn't know I had to do that every year. What? Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Payments, boycott, no value. Boycott.
Oh, this seriously? How'd he slip in there? We're trying to boycott you, Dave. Oh, my Lord.
Can you imagine if everyone tried to boycott?
Well, let's not
something?
even put that idea in their heads. I mean, if you think... Now, we might as well just say, well, we will be back for Christmas 2024. then,
Yeah.
Or 2023, because nothing's going to happen.
I'll have to find a way to shop. Grocery
Go
shop
off to
in the
fly,
States.
right? Go off to. Oh, my goodness. Okay, more text messages. Yeah. I wish every Bahamian could know who these people are that promote this cabinet secrecy darkness when it comes to speaking out on what is a problem. We are almost 50, and y'all still want people to sit down and be quiet while a select few make mistake after mistake. If this is indeed how the government works, it would explain how many potential leaders have gotten neutered once being elected, i.e. Last slate of F&Ms under Minnis. Ooh. Also, we tell the government to follow the law all the time, and they don't check. So let's not waste coverage on hypocritical utterances from these people, please. It is becoming very offensive to law-abiding citizens who can list how the Bahamas government breaks its own laws daily. I agree with you. Great text messages. Well said. Dwight, these grocers are getting plenty urging to follow the law when the rest of us blatantly ignore and decide to not follow the law, get caught, and we get charged. Okay. Well, sure. I mean, So it's slightly different, though. I mean, I'm not making excuses for them, but you see what they're saying. They're saying that by this, they're calling it unfair, and are going to cause them great problems. They're going to have to lay off many of you or your family members, who will in turn have a horrible Christmas, and right. So everything will be a mess. And they're saying they can't do this. They're going to be forced out of business, some of them, and so they're fighting for their livelihoods and lives.
And the lives of their employees.
Right? So it's not like they're like, we big and bad and we can, right? Not really, maybe a couple, but not really. They're fighting for what they think is right. Now, we might not all agree, but it's something different. Now, you who just wants to run every red light and bring in a gun and that type of law breaking. Okay. So it's a little bit. Let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
And good morning, Chester.
Good morning.
And good morning to those who wake up in the land of the living. Boy, Dwight Strachan, it seems to me that a lot of persons in this country, especially in this 21 by 7, this is a close-knitted island, love to believe that they can strong-arm the government. But Dwight, what is so funny with this situation with Mr. Roberts, when we were locked down, right, Dwight, they make all kind of money, man, Dwight. Come on, man. So when is it, why is it that the big-time merchants in this country, whether it's food chains, whether it's gas station, whether it's anything when it comes to the big owners, why they like to cry? So what about the poor people, Dwight? Let me ask you in Chester this morning, what about the brunt of the food store prices go up or they go down? It's the poor people that is making them what they are. So at the end of the day, and I want to say this to you, Dwight. I heard you said something about if Mr. Roberts closes food stores. You know, I don't know if you. I'm not too sure. I could be corrected that he could impact some kind of impact. He cannot do nothing when it comes to the food chain in this country. Let me wake you up this morning, Dwight Strachan.
Oh yeah.
The Chinese. Listen. Let me tell you something. You see, you be behind the microphone, but maybe you don't be on the ground. The Chinese is basically on par with Mr. Rupert Roberts when it comes to the food supply in this country.
No.
Dwight. How many major wholesale distribute.
With a lot of people go to those stores that you're talking about, but there are a lot of people who don't. A whole heck of a lot of people who don't, and they won't.
All you have to do, my brother, all you have to do, or anybody else in this country have to do, close your food stores and see if Bahamian people can suffer. You know who can suffer in this? This coming towards the Christmas, like you say. If Mr. Roberts have a kind heart, think about the people that work for you. Think about the people who make you what you are.
He doesn't want to do that. That's what he's saying. He says he does not want to do that.
Well, I can tell you one thing. You can't strong this progressive Liberal Party government. You are nobody else, Mr. Roberts. You are Vasco Bastian, and it ain't going to work. Maybe with the last government, but not with this one.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. All right. Let's take another call. Hey, good morning, caller. You are on the air. Turn on your radio for us, please.
Yeah, O'Reilly is talking away along with you in Chester, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
We need justice, law, and order in this country. But first, let me say, ain't nobody into the Chinese. The Chinese could never be as good as, as decent as Mr. Roberts and his food store. So get away with that Chinese stuff.
Well, okay, we have to say it like that. But okay, well, sure. The other merchants. Okay, that's fine.
Another thing is, right, the Prime Minister, right, what he should have done, right, all these people were squatting on people's land, he should make way to have the lawyers to bring down their fee so these people could, so the people that own this land could get lawyer and get those people off their land. That's what he should do.
Who?
The Prime Minister. What he should do, he should make provision with the lawyers, his lawyers, whereby to bring down the fee and all those lawyers what got people that are in the House of Assembly that are in limbo, whereby they hadn't dealt with people land problem. That's what he should deal with. Deal with them, those lawyers.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, thank you very much. Yep. And one more call before we take a break. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, sir. Pleasant day to you.
Hi, good morning.
When I tuned in earlier, I heard someone speaking about the 1 meal a day program and to fight cancer. I think that's a very novel and perhaps very potent suggestion. But now regarding, I didn't hear fully the conversation about the holding the country to ransom, whether one food chain should close down. What I do know that Mr. Roberts is a very large employer, not just of packing persons, cashiers, and so on. But I don't expect and intend anyone to hold the country to ransom. And I want to support the person who normally is all about the working classes, because actually the working class are the ones that actually have this country running. I'm talking about the person on the lower end of the wages. I'm not saying all of Mr. Roberts' workers are on that scale, because Mr. Roberts also has accountants and all those other things. So he's, as I said, he's a very large employer. But I will not condone anyone holding any country to ransom.
Yeah,
So
and they don't want to do that according to
I don't want even to say that they don't want
right.
to.
Okay.
I wouldn't even entertain the thought that they're saying that they don't want to.
I hear you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Hey, callers, we'll get to the rest of you after the break. This is Morning Blend on a very interesting Wednesday morning here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Snowing and blowing up bushels of fun. Now the jingle hop has begun. Jingle bell rock. Jingle bells chime in jingle bell time. Dancing and prancing in Jingle Bell Square. In the frosty air.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
7:35, the time for your first look at traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC. Make this Christmas whatever you want it to be with an RBC personal loan. A reminder of the work going on Boyd Road. You want to avoid the area if you can. Village Road as well, still a major construction site, so keep that in mind. In your real-time traffic, as usual, Milo Butler Highway is seeing heavy traffic from Fire Trail Roundabout all the way up to Tonic Williams Darling Highway Roundabout in the northbound lanes. And traffic is building on Fire Trail eastbound to the roundabout as well. Gladstone Road also busy for you just north of Fire Trail, all the way up to JFK Drive in the northbound lanes. We're seeing some building traffic on Carmichael eastbound to Blue Hill Road, and Blue Hill Road is getting busy for you just from about Carmichael up to Independence Drive, especially north of Soldier Road in the northbound lanes there. Building traffic on Independence Drive. Pockets along Soldier Road, especially near Soldier and East Street, Soldier and Windsor Place. And then Bernard Road near the schools in the area, especially westbound. Prince Charles Drive near Elizabeth Estates, near Fox Hill Road, and near Beatrice Avenue. And pockets along Eastern Road, especially west of Fox Hill and near Johnson Road. Those are your hot spots for now. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert, brought to you by RBC. Apply for a loan with RBC at rbc.com/Caribbean/loan and don't pay until February 2023. And take part in RBC's Caribbean Acts of Kindness this Christmas. some good together. Share your story of an act of kindness on the RBC Facebook and Instagram pages, and a registered charity of your choice could be selected to receive a donation from RBC. Be inspired. Hashtag RBC Give and Get. It feels good to do good. And time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. We've got a building high-pressure system combined with a complex low-pressure system just east of the islands. That's going to generate moderate to fresh winds across the islands today. Boaters and beachgoers should exercise caution due to the risk of rip currents and ocean swells. For the northwest Bahamas, look for partly sunny, warm, and breezy conditions with a chance of a few stray showers. Turning mostly fair and a bit breezy tonight. Small craft advisory in effect due to swells. Boaters can expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near showers and thunderstorms. For the central and southeast Bahamas, partly cloudy and breezy with a chance of a few quick passing showers. Turning mostly fair and breezy with a possible stray shower tonight. An advisory remains in effect due to swells for boaters who can again expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near heavy showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures getting up to around 82 Fahrenheit, 28 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 70 Fahrenheit, 21 Celsius. It's about 75 degrees right now in Nassau. In your extended outlook, high pressure will maintain mostly dry and stable conditions, while the low pressure system east of the islands is expected to intensify further. This will result in greater risks for hazardous boating and beaching conditions, as well as dangerous driving conditions and possible flooding along coastal roads into the area and into the weekend. So for Thursday, tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny, warm, and breezy with a chance of a few passing showers. Friday, mostly sunny and warm. We'll tell you more about what's happening in the tropics. Yes, still that thing in the tropics to tell you about. That's coming up in your next weather check after the 8 o'clock news. But this weather check brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. Sherwin-Williams Paints wants to make your holiday a splash jollier. November 21st through December 23rd, come deck your walls with color by stopping into either the Tonique Williams-Darling Highway or Prince Charles Drive location and take advantage of their Christmas sale of up to 20% off. And when you spend $100 or more, you enter to win prizes like hotel stays, boat excursions, interior designer consultations, and more. So stop on in to win. Sherwin-Williams Bahamas, find color in every day.
Cheney's Chesapeake Road Christmas Wonderland is open under the Big Tent. Get your Christmas trees in pink, frosted, green, or white in a variety of sizes. Musical Christmas LED and laser lights, a large variety of tree ornaments, lighted angels and Santa tree toppers, bright and lively colored Christmas balls in all sizes, garlands, wreaths, tree skirts, stockings, and lots more. Add flowers, picks, and decorative mesh to brighten up your home or office this holiday season. And don't forget the toys at Cheney's Chesapeake Road. Check our selections online at www.cheney's.com.
Man, Christmas right around the corner, but they still got little gifts to buy. Boy, BTC got the best postpaid deals from $44.99. Sign up for a postpaid plan, do you? It's easy. You get unlimited WhatsApp and Facebook for free, and it don't come from the data in your package. I signed up for a $64.99 plan, and they give me a free phone. That promotion going on right now.
This Christmas, get great handset offers and unlimited WhatsApp and Facebook for free when you sign up for any postpaid plan. Link up today. Link up!
Power on the holidays this Christmas with Custom Computers. We have everything that everyone wants to see under the tree. Laptops, iPads, AirPods, Apple Watches, Bluetooth speakers, and more. Find gifts for every reason this Christmas season at Custom Computers. Visit us on Patton Street in Palmdale, opposite Liquid Courage, or in Caves Village through the Blake Road entrance. The best Christmas has to offer is right here at your one-stop shop, Custom Computers.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
It's the season to sparkle at Colombian Emeralds International, where we have gifts for everyone. Make it an unforgettable holiday this year. Choose from our selection of gift ideas, starting as low as $99. Take advantage of holiday savings today at one of your favorite CEI locations, Bay Street, Atlantis, and Freeport, Port Lucaya. We'll see you there. Happy holidays from CEI.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells swing and jingle bell ring. Snowing and blowing up.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan with Chester Robards on this Wednesday morning. Okay, so we had a caller earlier who was saying stuff about cancer, and if you don't eat, if you starve the cancer. So that has upset a lot of people who are like, we don't know what he's talking about. That's crazy stuff. And So take everything you hear from our callers and maybe us with a grain of salt, and do your own research, folks. But some people are very angry about it. I've never heard that before myself, and I'm sure it can't be that simple because all of us would be doing that, right? It's
not that simple.
It cannot be. Anyway, I'll read a couple of the messages we got about that. Someone says, your caller's comments on cancer, what he called known facts, are completely false. As a cancer survivor and educator, I felt I had to text in to brand them as misinformation. People, please talk to your healthcare professionals and do not rely on that type of misinformation. Yep. And another one here, another cancer survivor listened to the comments from the caller this morning and is quite concerned about what the caller said, almost crashing the car when she heard another caller call back to say the comments were potent. Boy, okay. Yes. So, hey, we've been talking about a couple of things this morning. We've been talking about Eleuthera that's happening there, the crisis with water there. They've been without water for 7 days, according to their member of parliament. And the Water and Sewage Corporation is acknowledging they're having severe challenges. And so it's been a major, major problem for the people of Eleuthera. And it sounds like the entire island from north to south. And then the other issue is what's happening with the grocers. And there's the grocers saying they don't want war, so don't push them to war. And one newspaper suggesting that at least one retailer saying, if you keep this up and we bring in these inspectors and stuff, we're going to shut down the stores right before Christmas. And but they don't want to do that, they say, so don't make us do that. That's what they're saying. But the Prime Minister is urging everybody to follow the law. The Minister of Economic Affairs is saying, this is what the law is, this is where we are, and it doesn't sound like they're going to budge as this fight against these margins continues. It's been more than a month, more than 2 months going on now, and here we still are. So, let's get your reaction to this. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. You see, when the callers stray for the topic at hand. We ended up with the madness just now. So let's stick to the topic, folks. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, Thomas.
Hi, good morning. All right. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. How you doing?
Doing well.
Hey, Chef. How you doing, my brother?
Good. How you doing?
Okay, let me see if I can make my little input. I can try to talk slowly this morning so that everybody can understand. See, Dwight, when those members of parliament go in the house in our parliament, who they say they go to represent?
Who they say or who they are?
Yeah, or when they stand up on the floor on the point of order, they say from the constituency or Bamboo Tongue, example, I represent the people. See, the Britain is my good friends, right? Personal friends. But they take politics too seriously. We got to govern. We got to govern. See, we got a lot of hogs in this country. Now, when I was calling talk shows for 45, close to 50 years now. Special guests on many, many shows.
How many?
Special guests on many, many shows. Special guests, trust me. I've been on a long time.
Okay.
And Dwight, let me tell you something. When I was telling governments, bringing some Sammy slips, some BJs, to put pressure on these same people, maybe with vehement gathering interest and then we can buy the shares. They don't listen to us. They're protecting these people. Now, you see how powerful these people are beginning to get? When the pilots strike in America, when Reagan with the president, they couldn't get a more job in the country. They had to leave. You see, we got too much weak leaders in this country. I keep telling you all, nothing is going to happen in this country until we get rid of the Moses Code. Man, get rid of not kill them. We need to put all of them absolutely coming this election coming. See, God punishing them. See, anybody swear to duty to the king, his heirs and successors, they ain't checking for me, you, Dwight. See, you're all out of Joshua, you're all out of future, These people live in the old time. They bring back all these old people. Oh, blatant our treasury. And that's still getting done in the country. You don't want a first world country like this. You understand, see, Dwight, the Bahamas is a nice, beautiful place. I travel all over the world to represent this country, For black nation, see, the Haitians know we got a good country. The Jamaicans, Americans, everybody know we got a good country. Besides the Bahamians. Only people complain in this country, right, is not the Bahamians, Sometimes they can make God, my brother.
Okay. No, that's interesting. That might be. Well, okay. This message here. Just hogs. Why don't we boycott? This is an act of terrorism from the grocery stores. Well, I don't know. All right. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. This text here, what is happening with this price control saga is called civil disobedience and has happened in our country on more than one occasion. Gaming operators who violated the law under successive administrations and were subsequently awarded licenses under a government. Number 2, members of parliament who violated the law and willfully did not disclose their net worth under successive administrations, and nothing happened. So what's going to happen with the grocers is not new, nor is it surprising. We are a country of laws, but our government officials sometimes cherry pick which laws they want to enforce. Okay. Added this a little bit. So some of these folks seem to want to weaponize food. That's wrong. Okay. This person says here, I support my local Bahamian supermarkets. Editing some parts of that. Okay, well. Dwight, you are talking foolishness. If you don't have data to support where people shop, well, neither did the caller. That's what I'm saying. So we can't say that people don't do this and don't do that because a lot of people don't and a lot of people do. So, and a lot of people won't be prepared to do certain things. So, right, it's very difficult to say what he was saying, and I was just refuting what he was saying. So let's all calm down again. But this person says, if a certain place closes, people will go to the other stores, and if business picks up in those stores, they will hire the same people who lost their jobs at the other place. I think you need to take a class in economics because as long as there is demand, there will be supply. It doesn't matter who supplies it. If a vacuum exists, it will be filled. Do your research first. Talking foolishness. You're a very silly texter. You very are. Because if you think only those people will take up the mantle when the other people close, you are very confused. There will be all kinds of people coming out of the woodwork. So stop. Stop. But anyway, but you continue to do what you do, and others will do what they do. And I guarantee you, those folks won't close. They'll be the last place open. But anyway, yeah. This one here.
Waterfield, Lutra?
Yes, yes. This one says here, I hate how these big guys in these associations put the small guys in front and act like they're looking out for them. The big guys aren't going anywhere. They're multimillionaires and make millions per month. They're not going to cut off their nose to spite their face. They just don't want to give up that extra margin, but they can afford it. Implement the breadbasket pricing. It won't kill you, and it will not bring you to ruin. Stop being greedy. All right, so yeah, that's fine, and I think they get that. The big guys get it, but it's the little ones who are going to have the problem with the margin. The big ones are going to be okay. It's the small ones.
So you think the big ones are just in solidarity with?
I'm sure they have some other motives, but that is largely what it is. They're speaking for them too. I mean, some folks, you're not going to listen to that store that has one store in their chain, or two. Well, it's not even a chain, eh? Or two stores in a chain. Like, okay, whatever. But you will listen. People flock to the media. Everybody wants to hear when that one speaks. You listen. If the other one, like, who are they? I don't even know where that store is. So that's just how it works. But again, the smaller ones are saying that that's going to really, and that's what the pharmacists are saying too. The small stores are saying that these margins will kill the small ones. The big ones might be able to withstand it. But the key is that the government's been saying it's only temporary. How long is temporary, we don't know. But that's what all of the retailers are saying, that temporary might be too long.
Too long, yeah.
So, challenging situation. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight.
Hi.
How long is temporary, and how is it that you can have one person or one particular company say, we are going to do this if the government doesn't stop doing this? The government is the government. There should be laws and stipulations. Why are we not following those particular laws? How is it that you can become so ballsy that you can say to the government, stop sending your people, we're not going to do this, we're not going to do that? How is that possible?
I don't know, but it's happening.
And you nobody else sees anything wrong with this? On the backs of poor Bahamians? Yeah. No one else sees anything wrong.
Oh, I think many people do. Many people do. They've been calling in and texting in to say it.
But do we have enough gumption to say, let us just boycott?
I'm sure many do. Many do.
Some of us can go without meals for 1 or 2 days. I mean, we're very robust.
Well, maybe. But again, what about all the people who work there? What about all the people who depend on...
Well, Dwight, they're not even making minimum wage as it stands.
Mm-hmm.
Then do they have health insurance? Mm-hmm. I mean, what is there to lose? If we don't stand for something, then what happens? We just continually do the same thing over and over and over and over. It's insanity.
Yeah.
And anyway, you have a good day.
Thanks a lot. I don't know if they're not making or barely making minimum wage. I don't know. Yeah, but I don't know about the benefits either. But still, the challenge is not everybody agrees with who is the wrong person or entity here, right? Many do think this is government interference and that what the government is trying to accomplish, while it sounds good, is just not taking into account the global pressures and the changes that have happened as a result of the war in Ukraine and the pandemic.
They've also gone about it in a wrong way,
Who?
The government.
Mm-hmm.
If there is a counter proposal, why isn't that being considered? I'd love to know what it is. They should have had the conversations with the food store associations and stuff before making the decision and say, look, this is what we're thinking about doing. What you guys, thinking?
Mm-hmm.
And then they could have had all of the issues worked out before now. And now we're talking about war. Got enough war.
Yeah. Well, right. Let's take another call and we'll get to the rest of your messages. Good morning, caller. You are on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
Yes, how are you today?
Doing well. Good morning.
Okay. I'm going to say something this morning. It's not going to be favorable to some Bahamian people, but it's not going to be anything derogative. Listen, Dwight, most of our food we import anyway, right?
Yes.
We have one of the biggest food conglomerate corporation here in the Bahamas right now, Cisco, right?
Okay.
Okay. All right. So if the big mega grocery store don't want to buy by the law, let the government allow either Sam's Club or Walmart to come here in the Bahamas. Then they'll feel it in their pockets, okay? Because at the end of the day, the Bahamians will get savings no matter what, all right? Because right now, what the mega store is doing is intentional, all right? And they have no reason to change their prices. They're not going to do it, okay? They want the government to pick a fight with them, but the government need to take another route and let one of the big conglomerate companies of the U.S. come here to the Bahamas so the food prices could be cheaper. Okay? Thank you.
Okay.
One of the nicest Walmarts I've gone to was in Hawaii.
Where the other stores are out?
Not very close.
Well, yeah, you're right. A lot of people won't be happy with what you just said. I have wondered whether something like that would work on a Grand Bahama. And whether, while not here on New Providence, I don't think we could handle that, right? But and Bahamians, if they have similar prices to what they have in the U.S., if Bahamians would travel to Freeport,
that's a good idea,
to do that instead of going to the States, and what that would do.
I mean, couldn't that happen now?
Couldn't it? Would that be? And that would be a great way to spark the economy of Grand Bahama and bring some savings if you wish.
Yeah.
Move
some people out of here.
Could it? But interesting. Yeah, 323-6. Okay, we don't have time to go to the rest of the calls. Let me read some more text messages before we go to the break. We'll pick up that call after the news caller, if you don't mind. This one says here, the government is looking at the issue holistically instead of fighting the grocers. Have they looked inward and asked themselves, has BAMSI come close to meeting its goal of food sustainability? And if not, how can BAMSI be enhanced to fight the current food sustainability issue? Instead of the Prime Minister sit down with these people, he's jetting off all over the world. And this one says, you can rest assured that the money that these big stores stand to gain from Christmas shopping will prevent them from closing. It's a big bluff. They need to become better corporate citizens. Well, they were saying yesterday in what we read that they don't have the margins to donate anymore. Well, if you believe that. We'll be back after the news, folks. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio.
The horse with bells of holly rocking around the Christmas tree. Have a happy, happy holiday. Everyone dancing merrily in the new old-fashioned way.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for your smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us 422-4796. And now at 8:25, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. Here's what's happening. We've got building high pressure combined with a complex low pressure system just east of our area. More on that in a bit. It's going to generate moderate to fresh winds across the islands today. Boaters and beachgoers should exercise caution due to the risk of rip currents and ocean swells. For the Northwest Bahamas today, look for partly sunny, warm, and breezy conditions with the chance of a few stray showers. Mostly fair and a bit breezy tonight. For boaters, a smokecraft advisory is in effect due to swells. For the central and southeast Bahamas, partly cloudy and breezy with the chance of a few quick passing showers, turning mostly fair and breezy with possible stray showers tonight. An advisory remains in effect due to swells. Boaters across all areas can expect gusty winds and higher seas in showers or thunderstorms. Temperatures today getting up to around 82 Fahrenheit, 28 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 70 Fahrenheit, 21 Celsius. In your extended outlook, high pressure will maintain mostly dry and stable conditions, while that low pressure system east of the islands is expected to intensify further. This will result in a greater risk for hazardous boating and beaching conditions, as well as dangerous driving conditions and possible flooding along coastal areas into the weekend. So for Thursday, tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny, warm, and breezy with a chance of a few passing showers. Small craft operators should not venture far from port. Friday, mostly sunny and warm, and again, small craft operators should remain in port. Now, with that low pressure area, a large non-tropical area of low pressure located 800 miles northeast of the northern Leeward Islands has a medium chance, about a 50% chance of tropical cyclone formation through the next 5 days, but the system poses no threat to the Bahamas and is expected to move east out into the Atlantic. But that is your morning blend weather check. Brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance, still the first and only local insurance company and agency network that lets you buy car and home insurance 100% online. Try it at bahamasfirst.com. And at 8:28, time for another check of your traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC. Make this Christmas whatever you want it to be with an RBC personal loan. In your real-time traffic this morning, at this hour, we are seeing the heavy traffic as usual on Milo Butler Highway from well south of the Fire Trail roundabout all the way up to the Tonic-Williams-Darling Highway roundabout this morning. That's the northbound lanes there. And traffic is backed up along Tonic-Williams-Darling Highway as you approach the roundabout westbound and eastbound at this hour. And also along Fire Trail eastbound to the roundabout. Gladstone Road's looking a little bit better for you, but still heavy traffic about midway between Fire Trail and John F. Kennedy Drive in the northbound lanes. Then we've got Carmichael westbound, seeing some building traffic to Coral Harbor Road. Some congestion near Carmichael and the end of Milo Butler Highway near Faith Avenue. And then further east, as you make your way to Blue Hill Road, eastbound there. Cowpen Road also busy as you approach the junction with Zion Boulevard and Blue Hill Road. So eastbound on Cowpen and westbound on Zion Boulevard. And Blue Hill Road is busy north of Soldier Road especially, and near Carmichael and St. Vincent Road. Independence Drive is backed at both directions, east and westbound this morning. Robinson Road might be a better alternate route for you if you can get there. Soldier Road, though, is busy for you eastbound to East Street, the intersection there, and near Windsor Place and near Old Trail Road. Further up north, we've got the six-legged roundabout, multiple issues there. We've got eastbound on JFK, southbound on New Providence Highway, northbound on Milo Butler Highway. You're going to be stuck there for a little bit. And then further up on New Providence Highway, as you approach the roundabout at Saunders Beach, West Bay Street, eastbound, heavy traffic there. And as you come out of the roundabout on the way to Arawak Key. In eastern New Providence, Prince Charles Drive, heavy traffic from Elizabeth Estates and near Fox Hill to to, especially near Beatrice Avenue and west of Beatrice all the way through to Robinson Road, especially once you get past Soldier Road on the way to Old Trail. Very busy there. And pockets along Bernard Road. Those are your hottest spots, but you'll need your patience this morning. Good luck to you. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC. Apply for a loan with RBC at rbc.com/Caribbean/loan and don't pay until February 2023.
I used to think of the bank as my personal ATM machine. If I wanted a new car, new furniture, a weekend trip to Miami, no problem. Just max out the credit card or top up my loan. I was a big baller until I realized that 75% of my salary was going to pay back all those loans. Fidelity's personal financial coaching was the best solution. Fidelity gave me a plan with a debt consolidation loan that has a built-in savings that pays 5% interest. I now only have one low monthly payment, plus money in my pocket. Give Fidelity Bank a call at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit any of Fidelity's locations or visit a website at fidelitygroup.com.
It's the most rewarding time of the year. Come down to RBC. Get a loan to buy whatever. RBC makes it better. Get a loan and don't pay till New Year.
Make Christmas what you want it to be with a personal loan from RBC. Apply at rbc.com/Caribbean/loan and don't pay till February 2023. Conditions apply.
Get a loan and don't pay till New Year. Come down to RBC.
This Christmas, Wendy's and Coca-Cola are back with $25,000 in cash.
Hook me up, hook me up.
Upgrade your premium lunch combo to a large or purchase a large salad and a Coke product and enter to win the grand prize of $10,000. Upgrade your combo, answer the skill question, and fill out your receipt. Then upload it at Wendy's Bahamas Facebook page or into the Dropbox provided. Upgrade and win big this holiday with Wendy's and Coke. Rules and restrictions apply.
Do you want a chance to win one of 5 Yamaha Kryptonite scooters? Do you like the great taste of Frito-Lay chips? Well, all you have to do is purchase chips like Lay's, Doritos, and Cheetos at your favorite grocery store, and you can enter to win thanks to Frito-Lay and the Island Wholesale Scooter Giveaway Promotion. Want to know more?
Join us December 10th at Quality Supermarket South Beach.
This Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. for a chance to play Island Wholesale Shoot and Win game for instant prizes and a chance to win one of 5 Yamaha scooters. Frito-Lay, distributed by Island Wholesale.
Florida Auto Parts can deliver all the auto parts your car will ever need, direct from the USA and from around the world. Florida Auto Parts provides fast delivery on auto parts, and we ship throughout the Bahamas, genuine or aftermarket, new or used, best price. Call Florida Auto Parts Trusted Parts Rep on WhatsApp at 1-786-772-8777 to save on your next auto parts purchase. Florida Auto Parts, the right parts at the right price.
Rocking around the Christmas tree at the Christmas party hop. The mistletoe hung where you can see if a couple tries to stop. Rocking around the Christmas tree, let the Christmas spirit ring. Later we'll have some pumpkin pie and we'll do some caroling. You will get a sentimental feeling when you hear voices singing, let's be jolly. Deck the halls with boughs of holly. Rocking around the Christmas tree, have a happy holiday. Everyone dancing merrily in the new old-fashioned way.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Join me now, Chester Robards. I'm acting like the show started. Chester's been here. But yes, it's very cold. We're not thinking straight in here in the studio. So
it's freezing.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going on there. I'm not complaining. It's better to be cold than to be hot.
No, I'd rather be hot.
No, not in here.
Well, not in here.
We've had air conditioning issues and it's hot. So I won't complain much about it being cold. Just bring all the clothes.
I can't take the cold. It's just something I was
The hot is worse.
Not
the heat is Okay, anyway, so we've been getting everybody worked up about what's going on with the grocers and how they are saying they're not going to be adhering to these margins because they just have a problem with it. They're waiting for the government to respond to their counter proposal. But the government's urging them to follow the law. They sent out price inspectors yesterday. And what's got everybody a little worked up is this story in the Tribune. And the headline alone, we don't want war, you don't want war. I'm going to read it again for those who missed it. And so you too can be worked up. But anyway, SuperValue's principal yesterday disclosed that price control backed off seizing vast quantities of product when warned of pre-Christmas store shutdowns, telling the government, quote, we don't want war and you don't want war. Rupert Roberts told Tribune Business the government inspectors had initially sought to confiscate all merchandise in 19 mostly pharmaceutical product lines from his Golden Gate store to check for potential violations of price-controlled margins and markups implemented more than a month ago. However, after taking legal advice from John Bostwick, attorney for the Retail Grocers Association, the SuperValue chief said that price control officials relented and took just 2 samples of each item after he warned that the group's 130 food merchants would, quote, close our stores and stay closed until Christmas over the unwarranted mass product seizure. Asserting that the inspectors had, for the past 50 years, always taken just one sample of a product under investigation for price control breaches, Roberts told Tribune that any compliance with the revised pharmaceutical markups agreed with the sector just more than a month ago could not be blamed on food retailers, as he was saying he had been begging for the revised pharmaceutical margins and markups, but that this was only received on Thursday and that he didn't have time to change the prices as yet. All right, but let's see. More on those comments that have people a little disturbed there. Okay, is this the same story? Yeah. SuperValue was not the only merchant to be visited by price control inspectors yesterday. Robert said that they also called on Philip Benaby's Courtesy Supermarket. Benaby is the president of the Retail Grocers Association. And, however, neither Benaby nor Bostwick could be reached for comment before press time yesterday. Tribune Business was last night told inspectors found the stores they checked to be largely compliant with revised margins and markups on breadbasket and other food items. However, they were said to have found violations on some pharmaceutical items, and these products were confiscated. Now, Roberts said, quote, some were in our stores yesterday, including SuperValue's Winton store, but they did not take any items, according to Roberts. Then they had an early morning meeting and came into our stores with the managers this morning. When they opened, the head of price control was in Golden Gates. He said, quote, they said they were going to check the whole system. I said that would take all week. Then they told our buyer that they were going to take all the merchandise that was in stock and on the shelves in 19 items. I phoned down and spoke to Mr. Johnson, the senior price control officer. I said, quote, we don't want war. You don't want war. I said that if you take our merchandise, the Retail Grocers Association will close our stores. We may sell off the perishables and stay closed until Christmas. If they would have taken our merchandise, John Boswick told me to shut the stores. All the grocers would have shut their stores, bring the merchandise back, and we will open back up. And then he backed off. Ms. Roberts said price control had initially sought to take the entire inventory of those items, such as 200 boxes of Panadol, revealing that inspectors eventually departed with 2 samples of each item. He added that this represented a departure from traditional practice where normally only 1 was required.
I don't understand why they would have taken the entire stock.
I don't understand it either. Yeah. Now, this is the Tribune saying this. The Davis administration appears to have been provoked into a price control enforcement crackdown by other media reports suggesting the food distribution industry was not complying with the revised margins. Yes, what the Guardian wrote yesterday, apparently. The move threatens to reignite a controversy and dispute that was reignited in mid-October by the Prime Minister's national address, when he revealed a sweeping expansion of the price control regime for foods and medicines as the government sought to better protect middle and lower income Bahamian families from soaring inflation that has sparked a cost of living crisis for many. However, the expansion was announced without any consultation with the impacted industries. In particular, the move blindsided Bahamian food merchants and their wholesale suppliers. They warned that the 38 categories selected for price control expansion included more than 5,000 product line items and would lead to between 40 to 60% of a retailer's inventory becoming price controlled, with markups below their cost of sales, threatening their very survival. So, I'm scrolling through the story. A standoff appears to have taken hold, with the government making no concerted effort to enforce the new regime despite its tough talk until this week. Well, again, the Tribune saying that. While the pharmaceutical industry reached an early November agreement with the government, with set markups at 20% and 40% for wholesalers and retailers respectively, Roberts says these changes were never readily passed on to the food merchants that stock these products too. Okay, so let's get your reaction to that. You're hearing there that is some tough talk on both sides, and where are we standing? They are listening to their legal advice, telling them if they continue with this, they are, many of them, prepared to shut their doors right at the time when Bahamians practically live in supermarkets through December 31st, at least.
I mean, I just don't understand the taking merchandise thing, because if they didn't comply with the law, then there were fines that were supposed to be imposed on them.
Mm-hmm.
And, the Minister of Economic Affairs, Michael Halkida, said yesterday during that press conference that that's what would happen if they're not compliant.
Right.
Why are they threatening that they would take merchandise?
Let's hear. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. All right, before the break, a caller suggested that we finally open up the market and allow one of the big retailers in the U.S. to come in. And, of course, that would be very, very detrimental, I'm sure, to many, many, many different sectors, as those stores sell everything except for vehicles, I believe, now. But maybe, as I suggested, perhaps on another island, it might be helpful to spark even tourism, domestic tourism. Maybe. But anyway, people are responding to that. They're saying, I agree with that. This is a different one. I agree with that last caller. Call their bluff. Bring Sam's Club or Costco. And they also agreed with the previous caller. We have no backbone to stand against these food conglomerates. We need to boycott, and eyes will be opened. Okay, another one. I traveled this weekend to shop for my stores, and the prices in the U.S. are the same, if not more than our prices here. So the increase is worldwide. Well, that's what they're all saying. The pharmacy operators are saying that, and the supermarkets, that the prices have gone up, and that when they bring things in, especially with multiple VAT for some reason on many of the things that we bring into the country, the prices are going to be outrageous compared to what you see.
Multiple VAT is correct.
Because it's just the way that things are now, sadly. Global inflation is real. Caller, give us 1 second. This person says, we can eliminate price control altogether. Why should we be paying duty on food anyway? Food and medicine are essential items and should be duty-free. Let the government increase road tax, collect overdue taxes to obtain income versus tax on food. Okay. This one says the administration was just in the news bragging about the amount of customs it collects on a monthly basis. Why don't they scale back on double taxation on imported merchandise to pass down savings? Why don't they scale back on double taxation on imported merchandise to save down? Okay. More than double taxation.
Yeah.
Much more than double.
They want more people to shop? Yeah. Kill some of that VAT on the stuff that's imported.
My goodness. I'm going to bring up something in a bit.
Paying VAT on transportation for something transported inside the United States.
Let's take this call, and then I want to bring up something because this is bothering me. It's really getting on my nerves with the VAT situation. But good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning.
Hi.
Listen, I'm kind of with, I know I would probably be the oddball out, but I'm kind of with the groceries on this one because if they want to help the poor so bad, why is it so hard to just take back off the bread basket items, which was helping the person? Because the persons who said that boycott the store, you cannot go without food. You cannot. So for how long will you boycott the food stores? Where are you going to get your food from? Are you growing it? You understand? So that to me that kind of don't make much sense for me. But I'm with the groceries on this one because if the government is so serious about helping the poor, then they should be the one to take some cutback. But they're not taking any cutbacks. But they want to force others to take cutbacks, which is not fair. I don't have a store. I don't own a store. I go to the store to buy everything. So in that case, if you're helping them, you're helping me.
I hear you. Yep. Thank you very much. The government will disagree, though. They say they are
their
scaling
economic
back
model is different from previous government's economic model.
Yeah.
On how things should, how savings should be passed.
They're saying they have a lot of pressure too. They have a lot of people to provide for,
Plenty bills to pay soon,
right? And they have lots of things. They got big plans for the anniversary. They gotta They gotta
travel.
So much money. Now, why are you putting that in there?
Fix potholes.
They got a lot to do. It's tough.
Gotta send people back home.
To send some people home, all right. But yeah, I understand. Now, you were you talking about the same type thing?
Maybe.
I'm not people like on a plane.
No, I'm not talking about. I was talking about people on a plane, but I agree with you.
Right.
Other people,
right.
not on planes.
Just let them go to their little home around
walk
the corner.
outside to their car.
Right, exactly. Well, not the government car. But I'm calling. Good morning. You're on the air.
Chester.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning.
I think I'm also one of those that disagree with one of the previous callers talking about bringing Sam or Walmart here. I think basically it would make a difference because the tariffs that's already been imposed on a lot of the imports, they will have to increase their prices anyway. And then the double taxation that we have on a lot of the stuff is also an issue that a lot of we as Bahamians have. So the government has to do its part in trying to, even though I understand that they're trying to raise revenues to take care of the country's needs, but these are persons already struggling in the business market because we just came through the pandemic, we just came through a hurricane. They're trying hard to stay in business, and if government is not working along with these guys to come up with a healthy compromise, in order for everybody to benefit across the table, remove the VAT off the bread basket items, remove the double taxation, and then perhaps maybe we can spend a little more in terms of the businesses staying in business as well as the government making the necessary revenues to collect and take care of the country. That's my commentary for this morning. I continue to listen. But
Okay.
the Bahamian people are paying attention to this crisis very, very close. We must get this right. Thanks for taking my
Thank you
call.
very much. Appreciate it. Yeah. So yeah, that I agree with you, and see other people texting that as well. That the prices would end up being the same, but that's why it was suggested. That's why I suggested perhaps if we were to think about something like this, a free port. Right, their literal name is Freeport, might be the better place. Perhaps. I don't know if people of Freeport would like that, but or the retailers and merchants in Freeport, I don't know how they would feel, but again, if it can spark other industries around it, more restaurants, more dry cleaners for the people who have to work there, and for the people who will travel there to go and to shop there and to want to stay there, then maybe it can be a win-win. But definitely
It's
wouldn't
something
work
that can
here.
be incentivized. I mean,
Yeah.
look at the tax breaks they give to hotels.
Mm.
There's a bunch of the money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We could bring a shop here that sells stuff
Maybe.
at the same cost as the U.S. through incentives.
Again, perhaps not for New Providence.
Yeah, I'm not saying
But if
that,
you're
I'm just
prepared
saying
to travel to the States, to
domestic
spend your whole
tourism
time
for shopping,
right in the
in
store,
Grand Bahama,
first
yeah.
place you land, and stay there till 3:00 in the morning, then maybe you might do that in Grand Bahama.
Mm-hmm.
And wouldn't that be something? Then go back to a hotel, maybe the Grand Lucayan, and Bahamians in there with all their stuff waiting to get back home.
Can you imagine?
Maybe, right? Could it not?
You have boats going to Grand Bahama,
Right.
pick up stuff.
Just all over, heading to all over the islands instead of to the States.
Yeah.
And we were talking off air. Perhaps they need a Bahamian partner, so it wouldn't be
Not
be
perhaps,
just
they have to.
They have okay, right? And this is what happens in all of the world, the Middle East and China. You have to have a Bahamian partner for this, and it might be, I don't know how would it 50-50, 60-40, I don't know, but something, maybe. Let's take a couple more calls, and I want to get to my VAT concern. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. How you doing? I'm down here, buddy.
Hi. Good morning.
I think the challenge that a lot of people are having with this grocer issue, regardless of who's on the side of wrong, whether that be the government or the Grocers Association, I think the challenge that everybody's overwhelmingly having is the lack of public consultation. And I'm a firm believer where I continue to say to leaders that policy without people is not leadership, but in my opinion, mere management. And we have had too many leaders that come in and just manage the problems we know we already have. We don't need people to manage our problems. We need leaders that are going to help us to solve them. And it's only with the right kind of consultation that we're going to resolve our issues as a people versus having governments or administrations that come in, make decisions without properly consulting with us and expect us to just gung-ho abide by what they say. And so I think that's the ultimate problem that we're faced with here. And it's not just in the grocers industry. Riding with a young person just now, he said to me, but isn't this the way that they always do things, Mr. Mandel and them? And it's difficult not to say no. And so I think this ought to be a sign to not just this administration, but all administrations, that we have to be more inclusive in our policy-making decisions. Again, policy without people is just management and not leadership. Have a great day, Dwight.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Good morning. Are you there? Nope. Okay. Text messages. This person says here, a lot of people think that prices would be cheaper, but it wouldn't be. This is a different tax area and would still have to cover shipping and other overheads. It may not be as expensive, but it wouldn't be America's prices. The one advantage may be a bigger variety of products. Yeah, maybe, but you'd be surprised. But again, if the shipping could be cheaper for you to get it from Freeport to Nassau as opposed to Florida from Nassau, which I don't know if it would be cheaper. But if it could be, then it might be worth it. Perhaps. I don't know. This one says here, Dwight, why not let those partisan callers know that the government can allow foreign road work companies to come to fix the roads and operate the electrical system, etc.? That's all they're saying. I don't know what that's about. Maybe is that about, then it wouldn't be that hard to understand a foreign...
Having a foreign entity sell
maybe that's what they say, but it's just, they just left it there. It's like a cliffhanger. What do I mean? Okay. Anyway, concerning the threats from the grocers, they're bluffing. They're very specific about one of the retailers, and so just to say that they're bluffing, sure. Okay. Good morning. I hear everyone talking about the food store prices. Clearly, ain't no one got their BPL bill as yet. This only the first of many increases. Have you looked at your BPL bill?
No.
Well, last month for me, mine went down quite a bit.
Oh, yeah?
I was very surprised by that. What was that about? I mean, I have not been using... I hadn't been as much, but it went by down like $100.
Yeah?
I shouldn't be saying this. Next month will be 1,000.
Maybe you're complaining. Maybe you've been prorated.
I don't know what's going on, but anyway, I was very thankful. Dwight, the big mayonnaise was $16.99 a few weeks ago. Now it's $32.99. That's 100% added.
Which one is the big mayonnaise?
That's pretty big. My gosh.
They gotta be the big mayonnaise.
Big one. The one that you need two people to help you lift it. Okay, that's horrible. Wow. I guess they have a business or store, maybe. I would hope.
For that big mayonnaise.
Well. Dwight, please read this message. Oh, my goodness. Because I've been trying to call in. However, my daughter forgot to pay the water bill. I've been calling water and sewage all day yesterday, trying to find out why the water was off. They kept telling me the water was not turned off. I went outside to go to the shop, and I glanced over to the meter box and saw this paper in it sticking out. Came to find out that the water was indeed cut off. I ran down to water and sewage, arrived at 4 p.m. and paid the bill. They promised to cut the water on yesterday. They never came to cut the water on, not even through the night. My daughter and son had to go to work and school respectfully, and the baby to the nursery. We have no water still after paying in a reasonable time yesterday. I need water in my house, water and sewage. You are all incompetent. Well, if you close at 6 p.m., why was my water turned on?
Don't they have crews that work overnight too? I don't know if they do.
Well, hopefully you get that turned on today.
Water meters on.
I hope you do.
If you pay, one would think you would get your water turned on.
Yeah, it's tough. That's tough. It's tough. But hopefully we'll get you sorted out today. This one says here, the people calling for Sam's Club and Walmart clearly know nothing about operating a business in the Bahamas. The cost to operate a business is extremely expensive. To import their goods will be extremely expensive, and they will be faced with the same problem the grocers face here. You would definitely not be paying those U.S. prices.
Closer to.
I can't imagine it being better if it's in New Providence. I agree with you, Texter.
Not New Providence.
It would have to be a special zoned area. It would have to be. And again, I can only think of Freeport right now unless we create a new one. So, yes, we totally agree with you. But maybe in a special area. And again, it could have multiple benefits, perhaps, right? Spin-off effects. But it wouldn't work here. No. Let them close their stores so the Bahamians won't be able to purchase all those unhealthy foods that are killing us. Oh, dear. But they also sell healthy foods, too. So what about that?
Right.
This one says, this is exactly how politicians get voted out after one term, trying to strong-arm select industries even after you made a bad decision. Again, it's debatable whether it's who made the bad decision, if anybody's wrong at all. I think they all mean well. They all have great points as to why they're doing what they're doing. And it's unfortunate they can't come together and reach a compromise. Right? We can understand what
the
both sides
retailers
are
are
saying.
saying is that they are trying to come together. They just haven't come together.
Well, again,
That sounds like what they're saying.
They issued a counter proposal. Remember, I've been saying this for weeks. Like, but I wish they would explain their counter proposal a little more. Why, if the government said we want it on this sector, why did you come back with your counter proposal saying no, only this brand within this sector? Why specifically this brand? Why not organic? Why only this one? This brand seems like something nobody likes. Is that why you're prepared to accept the low margins on this one, but not on the one that people want? Like, explain it. Maybe you have a reason for that. Maybe you can tell us, though, well, that the reason why it's like this is because of this and this and this. But I don't know if they've done that. So they need to talk some more as well. Everybody needs to talk some more. Yeah, yeah. A couple more.
We keep running into issues in this country because people don't talk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because people don't communicate.
Yeah. This person says here, Dwight, monopolies are injurious to economies. Did you hear the threat from the grocers? Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Yeah.
But the grocers can't be a monopoly.
Well, right. Yes, that's true too. But the powerful bloc, perhaps. Powerful blocks and monopolies.
Are the Chinese stores part of the bloc?
Hey, we got to go to the news. We're going to pick this up on the other side and more of what's making the news in Morning Blend Business. Stick around for that. We'll be right back.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Power on the holidays this Christmas with Custom Computers. We have everything that everyone wants to see under the tree. Laptops, iPads, AirPods, Apple Watches, Bluetooth speakers, and more. Find gifts for every reason this Christmas season at Custom Computers. Visit us on Patton Street in Palmdale opposite Liquid Courage or in Caves Village through the Blake Road entrance. The best Christmas has to offer is right here at your one-stop shop, Custom Computers.
We know how important collecting your money can be to the success of your business. Start your relationship with Fidelity today so that we can show you the many options available to you with our merchant services. From click and pay options online to merchant terminals and e-commerce options. We're here to help your business succeed. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit any of our branches.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Wednesday, December 7th, 2022. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. And this is where we continue our discussion. The big story of the day, grocers, this drama with the grocers and the government. The Prime Minister, Philip Davis, and the Economic Affairs Minister, Michael Alquitas, are urging the grocers to comply with the laws. Even though quite a few of them told us this week that they were not prepared to do this because they were waiting to hear, as they feel they're still negotiating, waiting to hear back from the government on the counter proposal to what the margins the government put in place. And so the government yesterday, seeing that article, sent out price control inspectors, and apparently there was a little, what do you call it, a standoff, showdown between one of the big grocers and some price control
standoff.
Price control officers, and even brought in the lawyer who advised this, and then there was some tough talk. Like, we don't want war, you don't want war, and price control, we're told, backed off a little bit from seizing a number of items, and the big warning from at least one grocer is that, if you keep this up, we will shut down all of our stores, and Bahamians won't have any turkey and ham, unless they already bought it, for Christmas. And it'll be a very dark, bleak Christmas indeed. People will be praying and wishing for one of those COVID-y Christmases that we had. It would have been better than what would happen if the stores were to be closed. And so this is unusual
Just
talk.
wonder how that conversation would have gone.
If they said, do it, do it, do it.
Yeah, but did the price
we ain't
control
scared of
people
you.
call their boss and was like, he said he can close the store? I'm like, okay, all right, just leave. Just take one and leave.
Or he'd say, wait, stay right there, coming right now. And then what would have happened next? So we don't know. Where do things stand right now? And when the government reads this today, after what they did yesterday, after reading what was in the paper, where they read this, like, we bullied your price control people.
Maybe they'll have a meeting now.
Meeting? Or will they say, we want to see this? I want to see this.
Maybe they go pull the retail association's counter proposal out the shredder.
Or will they call, as texters are saying, call their bluff? Because, I mean, this will... Right now, we're getting a mix of people who are seeing this from the government's perspective and others who are seeing it from the grocer's perspective. But I guarantee you, if they close their doors, there will be nobody, very few people seeing it from the grocer's perspective.
They were closing their doors because they were going to have items seized for some reason.
But they said they were going to keep it closed through Christmas.
Yeah, but because of that, but they're going to get fined. So what are they going to do in that case?
Well, they got to close the doors to change the prices, apparently. As Rupert Roberts says, it will take weeks since he just got the list of, especially for pharmaceuticals, what needs to be adjusted. So, I don't know. But anyway, this is quite a scenario, quite a quagmire, as they say, right?
Of web.
You're bringing that back?
What?
You're bringing that back? Well, something we were trying to forget. But let's hear from you on this, folks. Continue to text us 422-4796 or tweet us at morningblend969 or facebook.com/morningblend969. Okay. Yep. You can call in 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us 422-4796. Of course, not all of the grocers are part of the association, but many are. And others are saying, yeah, call their bluff because we don't all go to them anyway, and the others will be just fine, and they'll see that we don't need them. Right. Some are saying that. But I don't know. What say you folks? Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Hi.
How are you guys today?
We're doing well. How are you?
It's frustrating living in this country. But one of your callers earlier hit the nail on the head. We are not a democracy. We are a dictatorship, and I don't care what anybody says. You don't have this kind of adjustment in the way of life for the average Bahamian, where the government just says this is what we're doing, and you have to abide by it, or else, without having consultation. Because, like the pharmaceutical people said, if making these major adjustments can shut down a business, and these people just don't have a clue how to run a business and what the margins are and what you pay just to get a product into this country. It's insanity. Mm-hmm. And this doesn't really go along with what we're talking about this morning, but it does absolutely apply to this country. I heard a political analyst used this phrase, and it's so very true. Lack of freedom of information is lack of democracy. If you have freedom of information, you are practicing proper democracy. We don't have such thing. Nobody shares what is going on from the government perspective and get input from the private sector. It's all, this is what we're doing because this is what we have to do in order to continue to do our traveling. Have a good day.
Yeah, wow. Thank you very much. Well, you know, I don't think it's like that across the board. It's when it's convenient. You notice certain things will be out for consultation forever, for many, many months. And like, wait, when are we going to reach a conclusion on this matter? Or why is this out so long?
What kinds of things, though?
Well, I mean, look at the marital rape thing. That's been out for consultation for months. And when is that going to be resolved? The marijuana as well, right? But what's happening? But other things, they will just ram it down your throat. And so why don't we have a standardized process for dealing with these things, where it'll be this much time, and we want to hear this, and by this time, here's the deadline, blah, blah, blah.
Beneficial for certain
right. Clearly, there's something going on. When it suits them, it'll be we'll wait 2 years to hear from you on this. But the other times, it'll be two hours. Bam. You have until tomorrow morning to do this. Very odd. So I don't understand. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, Dwight. And who was that with you, Dwight?
It's Chester.
Morning, Dwight and Chester. How y'all doing?
I'm doing well.
Okay, good morning to the nation. I've been listening to the conversation this morning, gentlemen, and there's a lot of misinformation and a lot of convolution that's taking place surrounding this entire conversation, because even if the grocers or the Grocers Association feel like there is an issue, or they take issue with the steps that the government has taken to derive that conclusion, the fact that's indisputable here is the government went to the parliament and they passed the bill, they gazetted the bill, and it's now law in the country, right? And so as a result, that is pretty straightforward. How everyone ought to conduct themselves as it relates to the law of the country. Now, by all means, the grocers has a right to take issue and to determine what steps they're going to exercise to demonstrate the issue that they have with whatever the government has done. But in the interim, in the mean, the law is the law, and the law is what all Bahamians and all persons living within the Bahamas ought to conduct themselves by. Am I not correct, Dwight and Chester?
You would think, but these are the same people who, as many other texters and callers have been saying all morning, who don't disclose according to the law. So there are many laws that the government breaks itself. And so, yes, we agree with you in theory, yes.
And so as it relates to other laws, if there are other laws that are being broken, I'm certain citizens themselves, if they wish to take up the mantle, can find means by which they can pursue to get the results that are supposed to be in line with the law. But the fact of the matter, as it relates to this discussion, is the law is on the books. And another point, Dwight, that I heard several of your callers made as it relates to grocers in the country losing funds and coming out of COVID-19. Yes, there were many businesses that were hurt as a result of COVID-19 and Dorian, right? However, the grocers industry was not those businesses. The grocers industry, as a matter of fact, was one of the businesses that made more money over the COVID-19, or over the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, over the last 2+ years. They made more money than at any point in the history of grossing in this country.
Well, I don't know if you can say that last part, but they made money, certainly. But
No,
also,
right.
they're
It's on
saying
the record. It's on the record. You had, for instance, the Solomon's Group. They were the highest grossing of all the grocers in the country. You had the person who has more food store chains in the country, who was on record stating how much profit he would have made during the period, and how we appreciated how the former administration was giving him tax concessions that he never even asked for, nor that he needed. And so they made more money, Dwight, factually, than at any other point in the history of grocery in this country over the past 2 years.
But what does that mean, though? They're saying now that everything is more expensive than it used to be.
I'm not speaking to that. I'm only speaking
But I'm speaking to it. But they're saying now the cost, things are so much more for them to bring in. Everything costs sometimes double what it was last year or a year ago. And now, if they have to reduce their margins on these things, it's going to cause challenges for them going forward. So what about it now? We're talking about 2 years ago versus what the reality is now.
So looking at that question, Dwight, and that's a very good and solid question that stands on good grounds. However, Dwight, what you also have to do is to expand your vision as it relates to that question, because if the grocers are going to incur more expenditure as a result of more cost on transporting of items as a result of inflation on top of the transport costs on the items, then it also means, Dwight, that not only does the grocers have to reduce their margins, but the consumers who are us in the public, yourself included, Chester included, we will also have to spend more money. So not only the grocers are going to feel the impact of the cost of increase of conducting business as a result of the increase in shipping costs, as a result of the increase in inflation, as a result of the increase in other products that have to be manufactured, but we as the consumers also have to bear that burden of the increased cost. And so, Dwight, the only thing, the amicable thing to do, the solution that brings the best consideration to all is for us all, not just one segment of society, being the end consumers, for us all, the grocers and the consumers, to be able to bear that cost and share that cost evenly and equally. And that is the problem in our country, Dwight. That is the problem, Chester. That is what has not been happening in our country. The only people who has been eating the cost, the only people who has been burdened with the cost, the only people who has been bearing the burdens of any increases are the end consumers. And that's not right. That is the part of the conversation that is not being focused on in our country. And if the grocers take the position, Dwight, on that same note that we're on right now, if the grocers take the position to close their doors as a result, I can assure you, Dwight, just based on normal economics of supply and demand, I can assure you the Bahamian people, the people who support the businesses would see that as them turning their backs on us at the time when we need them most, and there will be a shift in business guaranteed as a result, because at the end of the day, the Bahamian people are going to be loyal to who is loyal to them. Thank you for the opportunity. God bless. I'll take you up, and continue the good work.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. Some messages before we get to the other calls. This person says here, the government can't expect these grocery stores to take the loss. We have to import about 90% of our food, so why not lower the duty rate for food? Make it one flat rate, which will help grocery stores and consumers. Like, seriously, how are you charging duty for imported food items when these items can't be sourced locally or the supply is unable to meet the demand? Another one here. Amazon made money straight through the pandemic and still fired 12,000 people last month. Shipping costs in 2021 and 2022 have been the highest ever. Shortage of containers is driving the price of everything up. We are speaking of today. If I made money in 2020, doesn't mean I made money in 2022. Only politicians live in the past. A business person or company can never consider the past when dealing with present conditions.
That's right. A wise man once said, yesterday's prices are not today's prices.
Really? Okay. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, Dwight, I call back. You know what I try to figure out? How the government think they're going to live in this country if they were to get foreigners to bring their stores in here. The thing is, you're not supposed to be hard, or you shouldn't be hard on the grocers, okay? Because let me show you something. When they went into business, they paid for their license, and they wanted to make a profit. You know, when you want to govern the people's store, when you want to govern groceries, get your own store. I don't have a problem with what the grocers are doing, and I go to the shop just about every day. And what government gives me, it's impossible for me to live on that, and I don't complain. So they should get off the grocers. Let them do their thing. They went in there to make a profit. The government had broken all kind of laws. I hear nobody talking about that.
Well,
thank you.
Preach today, Bremen.
Thank you very much. Plenty of people talking, just not the government.
Listen, they hate.
But,
I've never been anywhere where they hate when you are successful. When you make plenty of money, they start to hate you. They don't want to see you successful anymore.
Where? Here?
Here.
The whole country? Or is it certain people?
Many. It feels like it's almost the whole country sometimes.
Oh, boy. My goodness. All right. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Morning again.
Hi.
I agree with Bremen. Preach it. Because at the end of the day, like I said before, the gentleman that called before Bremen, I don't get it. Don't he understand the way the prices go? Or he's just a politician? Like just to say certain politicians talk a certain way? Because at the end of the day, if, like I said before, if you make it hard for them, you make it hard for us. You understand?
Yeah,
So
we hear you.
If you so much want to help, and now like you were saying earlier, Dwight, with all the other stuff that was on the board and it's just sitting there, nobody's touching it. You know, the disclosure. I'm still wondering if those persons who were elected disclosing their value or worth when they first got elected, because nobody touched that anymore. You know, there's so much other things there to be done. You know, they're flying all over. I think this is why they need the extra money to fly some more. You know, use some of that flying money, you know, and help the poor with that. You done use, more than 4 million so far. You got another, 10 million or so left because it was 14 or 15 million. So use some of that to help the poor. Why aren't you trying to take the laws? And I'm ashamed of some of these persons who are trying to make it out to be the grocers being greedy. That is so unfair. You know, you go into business to make a profit. You don't go into business to suffer the loss. Now, however, if it comes, you would take it, but you don't need it rammed down your throat.
Yep.
And that is so unfair. And I am very disappointed in this government thus far with some of the things, not all, but some of the things some of the moves that they're making. They try to make and force you to be accountable, but when you ask them to be accountable, when the media asks them to be accountable, everybody shuts up, or the only answer you get is, oh, I don't know so far. I have no idea at this point. That's all the answers you get. That is just so unfair.
Well, okay.
You practice what you preach.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah. Again, I think what the government's trying to do is noble, but perhaps misguided, and they do need to come back to the table with the grocers and ask them why they have proposed what they proposed. Yeah. It might make sense. Yeah. On the surface, it's questionable right now, but it might make sense. And then you get a better understanding of why they did that, and then everybody can, right? Let's say, okay, well, we can't agree with that, but how about this? Let's do that. Let's do that. They did a little bit. They budged a bit, and they did, and they, right? And they and that was good, but maybe some more can be done. Look at the counter proposal, ask them to explain themselves, and we might be able to get somewhere on this.
I think if you've never started a business in this country, if you've never tried to run a business in this country, if you've never tried to import things for your business in this country, you don't understand the frustration that business people go through. If you've never broken your back and sweat and worried and stressed over the success of your business, only to have somebody come in and say, nah, you can't do this. We need you to do it like this, when they might not be doing everything they can do to fix the problem, then you don't understand, the scenario and the stress of the situation.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so I was talking about this earlier. I said I was going to bring it up, the VAT thing. So we've been talking about this double VAT from the beginning, from the day VAT was implemented, how we are seeing it, especially if you import, you see it on your bills. Right. There's a government VAT, and then the shipping company charges you a VAT as well. Right. Now, please tell me I didn't dream this, because remember how long that consultation process was for VAT, before it was implemented. It was quite a while, and the government really did a good job with getting that information out there. But am I wrong here? When it was first proposed, that they said that along the way, because they did acknowledge that there was going to be a scenario like that where there'd be VAT on this and then VAT at the end, right? But it wasn't going to be, back then it was what, 7.5% VAT?
Right.
It wasn't going to be 7.5 at each point. It wasn't going to be like 3% here and then 3% and something. It wasn't that the way it was supposed to be. What happened? Why are we seeing 10% VAT here and 10% again later? And how do we get there? And that was, and it's been like that through the whole time. From 7.5 to 12 to 10, it's been that way. But it was supposed to be, in the end, it would all add up to 7.5. In the end, it would all add up to 12 or 10. Why is it at every stage still the 10, 10, 10? What's going on? What did I miss? When did it change? What happened?
You're right. I do kind of remember that.
So I'm paying 20% at least VAT on everything I bring in.
Paying VAT on the VAT?
VAT on VAT and on VAT on duty and all the shipping and everything. And so it's crazy to bring in something, an item that you bring in that costs $10. When you finish paying for everything, it'll be $50-something.
Yeah. But what my problem with that is they tell you that the cost of shipping in the United States from point A to point B is included in the total cost of the item that you bought. And so you have to get charged VAT on the shipping in the United States. I never understood that.
Right.
That don't make one ounce of sense to me.
Yeah, there's many issues. Remember, and the
But
duty.
but this is why.
Why does the duty include the taxes in the States?
Right.
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 And the shipping as well. So if I do expedited shipping, the duty is going to be based on that.
Yeah.
But if I had waited a month for the thing to come here, I wouldn't pay as much.
There are a lot of problems.
It's a lot of issues.
This is why, and the government knows this. This is why stores and businesses in the United States have no problem fixing your invoice. Don't say it.
Don't say
they
that.
know it's happening.
What the heck?
Please.
What are you talking about? That doesn't happen, Chester. We'll get back to your text messages.
I've heard many stories.
What the heck? Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, morning. How you guys doing this morning?
Doing well.
Good. So listen, I must say it's a very vexing issue we're dealing with. So I appreciate you guys bringing the conversation forward like this. But one of the things I just wanted to, just hopefully bring a little bit of perspective to in terms of calculating the VAT, right? Now, I'm not a tax person, but I mean, I guess they like numbers. But you said a second ago that 10% and then another 10%, so you're paying 20%. So just to bring some clarity to that, if I pay 10% on $100 and then I pay another 10% on that, I'm not paying 10%. I'm not paying 20%. I'm actually just paying 11% because, you take 10% of the 100, which is 110, and then 10% of that is $11, so it actually works out more to 11%. And I say that to say this. You guys talked about the 20%, and then you also talked about paying VAT on the shipping costs and VAT on the taxes in the U.S. What I think, the picture you're painting there, I think might not be accurate because it seems like the government has the reason. Now, I'm not defending the government. I really believe they have a lot of work to do. They could do a lot better than they're doing. But I think going down that financial part with the taxes, it's just, I think it would do us justice to not oversimplify it, to make it seem as if, it's just total craziness. Because there is some craziness happening. In terms of those numbers, it's a lot of people out there that already don't understand how taxes are calculated. I mean, I don't fully understand it, but I know that painting the picture that the way you paint it makes it seem as if it's just so easy to fix. If it was so easy to fix, I think they would have fixed it. I must say there are a lot of government, politicians that may not have good intentions, but I think they're trying to do the best they could sometimes, and a lot of them don't understand it. A lot of them just as confused as the numbers sound to us, So, I mean, I'm saying that to say the only thing that's really going to help us is to try to be more agreeable. And as the media, I understand that you guys have to hold the government accountable and put their feet to the fire. But you guys are also intellect, so I think it would do us justice to really, when you speak to those numbers that way, let somebody be on that is a tax expert that can make it clearer for people to see, because we don't need to add confusion to an already vexing situation. Thank you for letting me share.
Okay, thank you very much. I hear you.
I don't know about that first part, though, the 11% thing. Someone got to explain that to me.
I see where he's going. It might not be 20%, but you get what we're saying. We've got two sets of that, and they're both 10%. But yeah, sure. But no, we weren't suggesting it was simple to fix, but it needs to be fixed.
I think it's simple to fix.
It isn't. It's not going to be rocket science to fix it.
I can help you to break out the cost of the item versus the cost of the item plus the shipping plus U.S. taxes.
Yeah.
That's easy. And I only want to pay VAT and customs on the cost of the item before the rest of those things.
Yeah. But we know that one, especially the duty, calculating the duty based on the shipping cost from the U.S. This has been a big problem for years.
Yeah.
And again, if I want it overnighted, if I wanted 2-day shipping as opposed to a week, I don't know how that should impact the duty. But what does that got to do with the duty?
Exactly.
What is this? And it doesn't make sense. And that's unfair. That's unfair to everybody, I believe. But hey, but yeah, it's not a simple fix. I don't think it is. But it's not as complicated as some people act like it is.
But again, also, so even with this inflation stuff, right? The grocers and other people are we're paying, I think, like 30 times more for a shipping container than they were before.
Right.
Now, when their customs bill comes, they're paying for the cost of that, the new cost of that whole container.
Yeah.
Plus the items inside.
Yep. Which also went up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That is crazy.
It is. And it's reflected in the prices we are seeing on the shelves.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Text messages before we go to the break. This person says here, boy. Yeah. You sure? I think we just experienced four years of dictatorship with the other folks as well. But anyway, POP has always demonstrated that they are dictatorship. Gaming referendum now telling the grocers what to do without care for how it impacts the citizens. Well, okay. Well, they're saying they're doing it because they care about the citizens. Again, we're not all going to agree with that. There might be better ways to show that they care, but that is the fundamental reason they say they are doing this, because the prices are crazy and they're hoping to help the majority of consumers.
You know what I do enjoy seeing? Being charged VAT on like my Netflix and stuff.
You enjoy it?
I mean, it's efficient.
Oh, yeah?
I think so.
You're not being sarcastic right now?
No, I'm serious.
Oh, wow, okay.
I'm serious. It's a service that's being given in this country, and we should be paying our taxes on it.
That was Chester saying that, folks.
That's my balanced approach to things. Okay,
it's beautiful.
Even like Facebook ads, like if you put an ad on Facebook or Instagram, you get the tax on it.
That's why you might as well just advertise with your local media companies.
That's true. You're absolutely right.
Why not do that?
Yeah, well.
Everybody wants to buy local, right? So practice what you preach, eh? Our only solution is growth. Celebrating the size of tax collection is wrong-headed and a failed strategy. I always say that. I'm like, it hurts me to read those stories. They're like, we collected more money. From who? From me. What? Why are we happy about this? This is something. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, some say
but again, we didn't do a great job at chasing down the foreigners to pay their property taxes.
We don't do.
We don't
Ever.
do. We still don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Ever.
We still give big tax breaks to foreigners building things. And who gets the crappy end of the stick?
You don't know. It hurts me every time I see a big headline in the paper. Oh, government revenue up. Why? You might as well just anyway. Boy. Okay. Some say talking about growth is easy. I suggest moving in that direction is easier than we think. How much would we grow simply by having competent ministers in charge of each ministry? By removing political pay for play, by awarding crown land only to people with viable ideas that we strategically assess. And that's just the tip of the spear. Yeah. It would make a big difference.
We get swing plenty times on that Crown Land thing.
Yeah. Competent ministers in charge of your ministry. Yeah, you know what's going to fix that? If you don't depend on the elected officials to determine who becomes the
local
minister.
government.
It's definitely you have to do a lot of things, change the structure of our government.
Yeah.
Right? Appointed ministers, preferably by a president, that have to be vetted by the House and the elected Senate, would help to ensure that we have the best qualified ministers. But y'all don't want that. All right. The grocers never saw hardship through the pandemic. They were open straight through. People forget the long lines. No, we didn't. The government has lowered tariffs at the ports of entry, but the grocers don't pass on the savings. We all know the shipping woes, but as a person who imports items as well, I know that there can be more savings. Yeah?
Do you import the same types of items?
You got to share that. Share that, please. We all want to know because we...
Yeah, I would like to know.
Why are people siding with these big businesses with their foolish talk about losing money? All the big businesses are expanding and holding us hostage, I guess you're trying to say. Let us see their books. Their markup is crazy.
Okay.
Perhaps with some. That's what we're saying. Perhaps with some, but the smaller ones might not be in that same boat.
There's people who don't have a business.
This one says here, let's remind them who runs this country and its laws. Take them to court. Now, who are we talking about here? Which ones? The businesses or the government or everybody? Who are we talking to?
Because they both kind of run the country.
And they both might be breaking the laws. So everybody, just take everybody to court. Okay. This one says here, maybe not today, but someday, can we talk about the award to the young man who was body slammed by the police? Who was held accountable when this happens? We talked about that. Today's Wednesday. Was that yesterday or Monday? I think we did. I think that was Monday. We talked about it. But yeah, it's us taxpayers' money. Absolutely. And people were asking good questions online. You want to get body slammed?
I should have sued when I got locked up for no reason. Though.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well,
silly me.
People were asking questions online about what happens to the officers. Are they still working? Are they still there? Did they not get fired? Did they get demoted? Do they get desk duty? What happens? Just go about your business and try not to body slam on body cam. Because when you're on body cam, oh boy.
You're going to start a meme with that.
Don't body slam on body cam. Maybe he forgot. Anyway. Dwight, follow me, please. I'm a gas retailer. Because of a structure that we have, retailers have been asking government to change for years. I will now be paying double the business license fee I did last year with less sales and less profit. You read that right. That's tough. That's tough. And then the prices are up for you all as well in your C-stores.
Yeah.
It's very tough, very tough, very tough. This person says here, they don't want to raise your pay and they don't want to bring prices down. Something has to give. Make life livable, please.
Crime going up too?
My goodness.
Everything going up.
This person says here, well, I don't know if I can answer these questions. We were hoping to have the Junkanoo folks on, but they're not talking to us for some reason. Please, can you say where you can go to physically purchase Junkanoo tickets? Are you able to physically do that, or is it all digital this year?
You can?
You can?
Alive stores? Alive stores.
Oh, the Alive store? Yes, they said that the other day when they were on. Alive store. Yeah, that's right. Alive stores. Go to Alive. They said the app isn't working
fast, apparently.
It'll be gone. New Year's might not be gone.
Why the hate for New Year's?
I don't know. Yeah, so check out your live stores. Yes. This person says they're back to Anton. Anton always defends and justifies whatever the PLP does. He obviously doesn't mind spending $8 on 12 eggs. The government isn't cutting any revenues on their end, but they are increasing prices for consumers. It cannot work. Well, the government's trying to help with that, though. They are trying to cap the prices.
Right.
They are trying to cap the prices. And the retailers are saying, by doing that, you're going to cause us to have major problems because these prices, we're not marking them up. We're not making profits off them now
crazy
because the prices, right? The prices are very, very high, and that's why the prices are high in the stores. So the government is trying to help, but the grocer is saying by trying to help, you're going to cause more harm. Because then we will have to lay off people, or we may have to close our doors, especially with other things happening, including the increase in the minimum wage next year. It's going to be very challenging come January. That's what they're saying. So everybody's heart might be sort of kind of in the right place, but it's just that other factors are causing things to go off the rails.
Speaking of other problems, we didn't even mention the bird flu epidemic in the States. That's causing the price of eggs to go up, and probably the price of the birds too.
Yeah. Poultry.
Yeah.
You don't say it like that. Right. Okay.
Sure.
That's
why Abaco Big Bird's my favorite.
Yeah. Dwight, these people siding with the grocers are like slaves siding with their masters, asking for more whips in exchange for food. I don't know if that's fair to say. I'm not too sure. Some people get it. Some people get that there will be consequences for what the government is trying to do, even though it is noble. And that will impact them or their loved ones who work for the stores. So, right, it's very complex. There's a lot happening. But yeah, okay. And another text here. Everyone knows that businesses in the Bahamas make huge profits, and it's go to heck if you don't want to buy their products. I agree with the government. I'm against big business in the Bahamas. Just always you are, just nonstop, always against them, regardless of whatever.
So all business should be small in the Bahamas?
I don't know, or no business, just the government alone, eh? Okay, I hear you. This one says here, even the minister admitted that he learned the new term, the SKU, the stock keeping unit, basically a barcode product after the last meeting with the pharmacist. I still haven't found a single grocer that was consulted before October 17th. Yet the government incorrectly stated on their cover letter for the bill that it was after industry consultation. I think they did have some meetings with them. And of course they were able to, that's why they were able to adjust their margins, because they did have the consultation. So they did. But the grocers are calling for more consultation. This one says here, anytime when you are successful in business in the Bahamas, you will come under attack, especially if you're not covered by the secret society organization. Should be in. Double VAT does exist, and VAT on customs duty is wrong. From Grand Bahama, we are listening in 2022.
Yep. Fix it, Lord.
Got a lot more text messages to get to. We'll get to those after the break. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9.
A local paper in Grand Bahama is back every Tuesday as a section of the Nassau Guardian. Available at local stores, gas stations, pharmacies, Western Bakery, and Bellevue Gifts. Daily and, of course, on Tuesdays too. Want to reach your Grand Bahama audience? Then call Barefoot Marketing at 827-4578 or message them for ad rates via their Facebook page. Advertising opportunities now include classified ads too. Keep up with all the latest Grand Bahama news in the Guardian newspaper every Tuesday.
It's the most rewarding time of the year. To RBC, get a loan to buy whatever. RBC makes it better. Get a loan and don't pay till New Year.
Make Christmas what you want it to be with a personal loan from RBC. Apply at rbc.com/Caribbean/loan and don't pay till February 2023. Conditions apply.
Get a loan and don't pay till New Year. To RBC.
Fidelity, we're
used to think of the bank as my personal ATM machine. If I wanted a new car, new furniture, a weekend trip to Miami, no problem, just max out the credit card or top up my loan. I was a big baller until I realized that 75% of my salary was going to pay back all those loans. Fidelity's personal financial coaching was the best solution. Fidelity gave me a plan with a debt consolidation loan that has a built-in savings that pays 5% interest. I now only have one low monthly payment, plus money in my pocket. Give Fidelity Bank a call at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit any of Fidelity's locations or visit a website at fidelitygroup.com.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
It is time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, credit rating agency Standard & Poor's, affirming the Bahamas' sovereign credit rating, and it has raised confidence in the country's economic future, both locally and internationally. Minister of Economic Affairs Michael Halkita saying that he expects the economic recovery to continue the strong course it's on. He was answering questions from reporters outside cabinet on the outlook for the country's economy, given the economic headwinds forecast globally. He touted the S&P's outlook for the Bahamas as validating the country's profile, as it has been assessed in several recent government reports on the fiscal state of the country. The S&P kept the Bahamas' credit rating at B+, B positive, and its outlook as stable in its latest credit opinion report issued 2 weeks ago. The stable outlook supposes no adverse impact on the country, especially from the recent collapse of locally headquartered cryptocurrency exchange FTX digital markets. Foreign direct investment, FDI, inflows from the Bahamas reached a 5-year high of 20 in 2021, up 32% over the previous year. That's according to a new report released by the UN, the United Nations Economic Commission for Latin America and Caribbean. Overall, FDI in the LAC region rose by 40.7% in 2021, but had not returned to pre-pandemic levels, except for a handful of regional nations, including the Bahamas, which registered more than $1 billion in FDI. The Bahamas is among the countries most exposed to severe food insecurity, noting that same UN report. The report entitled Towards Sustainable Food and Nutrition Security in Latin America and the Caribbean in Response to the Global Food Crisis, said that severe food insecurity occurs when a person has run out of food and has not eaten for more than 1 day. The report comes as the Bahamas grapples with a cost of living crisis in which the cost of basic food products has risen substantially since the start of the year. Rising inflation, especially food inflation, poses an additional challenge to an inclusive recovery, as low-income countries and households, which spend a high proportion of their income on food, are hardest hit. And the discovery of a polyketide called Bahamaolide A negative, given the name because it's, or A, Bahamaolide A, given the name because it is cultured from marine sediment found in the country, has the potential to speed up the process of creating complex molecules for antibiotics and antifungal medicines. That's according to a newswise.com article. The article explained that the polyketide is a first-of-its-kind discovery by chemists at the University of Bristol. The bacteria is grown from sediment found at North Cat Key. Read more about this story in today's Guardian Business section. Overseas, Microsoft agreed today to make the hit video game Call of Duty available on Nintendo for 10 years, should its $69 billion purchase of game maker Activision Blizzard go through, an apparent attempt to fend off objections from rival Sony. The blockbuster merger is facing close scrutiny from regulators in the U.S., Europe, and elsewhere. Microsoft, maker of Xbox game consoles, faces resistance from Sony, which makes the competing PlayStation console, and has raised concerns with antitrust watchdogs about losing access to what it calls a must-have game title. The head of Xbox, Phil Spencer, tweeted that Microsoft entered a 10-year commitment to bring Call of Duty to Nintendo. Microsoft President Brad Smith tweeted his thanks to Nintendo, which makes a Switch game console, saying the same offer was available for Sony. In your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Tuesday. Your market movers: Commonwealth Bank moving 13,500 shares, closing unchanged at 349 rather. Colina Holdings moving 615, unchanged at 853. Consolidated Water up 7 cents, closing at $3.03. Emira Incorporated down 4 cents, closing at 947. The BISX All Share Index closing at 2,627.52, up 0.04. That's your Market Watch. And that is your morning business report, brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
We're back here with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. Our final few minutes. Let's read all these text messages. We've got a lot to get through. I hope we can get through them all. This one here says, all the government needs to do is give those persons who get subsidies a 20% increase. I think the grocers indicated that they would also give those persons a $20 discount. That would be great. These are rough times for everyone, and everyone needs to conserve. So, yes, the grocers said they would, if you get the coupons, right, that they would match, I think they said, or 20, or something. So, but only for those? I mean, it's tough for everybody, though. Everybody's struggling. Everybody's finding it hard to pay, as people say, what, $10, $12 for eggs and double digits for mayonnaise. It's very difficult.
Almost $8 for almond chalky milk.
Oh, you're being fancy, that's what.
Oh, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cow chalky milk is more expensive.
Wow. Got to go in the almond tree and press your own almonds, apparently. Right. That's what you got to do. Yeah. Anyway, the government is overstepping the line by imposing price controls on private entities. This is a dangerous precedent. Where does it end? Well, they already have price controls on many, many entities and products, unfortunately. But anyway, where does it end? There are many other services and goods that are necessary. Road tax, lawyers' fees on processing and transactions, insurance. Using the government's logic, why are these not on the chopping board? There are a lot of those already taxed. Already. There's a tax for a lot. Anyway, this person says here, please read my text. Please tell that caller I just paid VAT on shipping costs, broker costs, duty to bring in furniture. It is not complicated, and it is not fair.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I forget, if you use a broker, you got to pay VAT on them, too.
VAT on the broker?
Yeah.
You got to pay the broker. Well, but it's a service, I guess. Yeah. Perhaps you're right.
The name speaks for itself. You use them, you get...
Yeah. But... I I never thought of that before. Did you just come up with that, or that's a
just came up
joke?
with that.
That's really great. That's right. Use a broker, you will be broker. Wow.
Sorry, brokers.
Oh my goodness, you're on a roll today, broker, and what? Body slam or body
That's
cam?
you. Body slam. Wow. Jeez.
Okay. The macro issue at play is the fact that this government that campaigned on having an economic plan has yet to reveal and execute such a plan. If the economy is robust, then most, if not all, of the grocery price issues becomes moot. This is all rooted in growing the economy so that citizens can make their own way. We still await the economic plan.
So, the robustness that they speak of doesn't seem to filter through to certain things. Right? When our economy is doing good, it's on a certain thing. So tourism is good. It doesn't mean life for the regular average Bahamian is good.
Never has.
Yeah.
Well, not in a long time. Not in a long time. Yeah. This person says here, you all who eat noodles, the price at the food store is too high. Wait until you have to buy a ham and turkey. You're gonna be eating Cornish hen for Christmas dinner. Those are expensive too.
Yeah.
But maybe that might be a better alternative to the turkey prices. Who knows? Who knows? They may say that that they care, Dwight, but actions speak larger than words, and their actions are showing that they don't care. Now, who are we talking about? Which ones? Or everybody? Everybody? So you all are showing off because you have money, eh? Who are we talking about here?
Who that?
That was said at 9:40. Do you remember what we said at 9:40? Who are we talking about? Dwight, please repeat and expand on that idea of selecting the best persons to be the ministers, not necessarily MPs, having an elected Senate and president fits into the better Bahama scenario. Maybe, just maybe, we will climb our way out of the cesspool. Hey, I've been saying it for over 10 years, and the people look at me like I'm crazy. And they say, you're trying to be like America. And so they don't like to hear it. But there are a lot of good things we don't have to copy their system entirely, but there are a lot of good things about it. And the other countries as well have wonderful systems that we could learn from. We can tailor ours to what will be best for us. But we seem to be paralyzed or afraid to want to tweak it. We've come a long way in 50 years, but we could be a lot further. We could have been a lot further, and we can be. But I suspect if we continue like this, we'll be exactly here 50 years from now, if we are still here.
Yeah.
And so we can't allow that to happen. We cannot. All right, we've got to go. I'm going to read this one really quickly. There's a lot of numbers here. Yesterday, I went to the post office to pick up a package. The package was duty-free, and the person that sent the package paid $117. I had to pay the VAT on the $117, which was $11.70, plus an additional tax on the $11.70. In total, I paid $13 for the duty-free package.
Wait, what?
Only 13?
The person paid $117 to ship it, so they had to pay VAT on the shipping. Jeez.
They only paid $13? You sure? Maybe I'm dealing with the wrong shipping
No, but
company.
the thing's duty free.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. You're lucky because it's sometimes duty. And
But
it's
why did they
sometimes-
pay VAT on?
Because someone had to ship it.
No, they
And plus
paid
the
another.
VAT, there's VAT on everything.
They paid VAT on the cost of
VAT on the thing,
VAT.
and then VAT on the shipping with the shipping company. Anyway, I don't know. It's a lot. Hey, we got to go. I can't read all the messages, but we got to go. So again, happy birthday to Laverne. And guess what?
Yes, happy birthday, Laverne.
Guess what? A little birdie just told me.
Somebody else's birthday?
Guess who else's birthday it is?
What?
Cecil Nuri.
What? It's Cecil's birthday?
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, bro.
Did you know that? His Mrs. Nuri just told me. She should have told me. Anyway, happy birthday, Cecil. Have a great
Did
birthday.
Cecil know it was his birthday?
I don't know. He's shaking his head. But enjoy. Okay. Anyway, Cecil and Aaron coming up next. Have a great day, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau County.